Welcome everybody to, I believe this is episode 5 of Gods, Ghouls, and Grimm. When we last left off with our party, they were left in the town of Eckers to chill out for a little bit. They had just recently saved the town from having had their children kidnapped by a bunch of bandits by having cleared out a place for the bandits to go at the request of the Royal Ranger, known as Jeremy. A deal was brokered. The bandits let the kids go. They relocated, and the crew was left to chill out for a little bit and just sort of collect themselves. Of course, during the course of this, they managed to interact with a few different NPCs. Gil brought himself to the bartender, who he attempted to at least do something with, but I don't recall. How'd that go, Gil?
It went pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to scroll up and find the rolls?
I'm fairly certain it went fairly well for you.
Yeah.
And also a trader that was able to identify the magical items that they were able to find when they were clearing out the mine, and also someone who offered them a bunch of drugs that, at the very least, 3 of them decided they were going to test out for. Thankfully, that was free, because at least one of them had an extremely bad trip, and another one had a trip that was so good it might as well have been bad. They, near the end of the week, they decided to take a little bit of a quest from the trader himself, because he wanted the pathway that he was going to be heading out cleared out. Apparently there were some massive creatures blocking the road, and the crew decided they were going to go handle that. Very quickly they realized that they may have overstepped themselves as they engaged combat and weren't able to take down the first of the 2 owlbears without a few different turns. After about 2 of them were knocked out, they were luckily saved by another NPC that had made himself known to the party beforehand, the traveling monk known as Vasir, who then came and gave them a little bit of breathing room so that they were able to take out the remaining owlbear. They then returned back, got paid, and decided to rest for a little bit, waiting for Jeremy to get back at the end of the week, and that is where we are going to be picking up. So, you guys have rested the night after having taken care of your most recent problem. And, yeah, let me go ahead and put a little bit of tunesies on, see if that works. If it doesn't, then I'm extremely upset. No, it looks like it doesn't.
Oh, wait. Oh, it says now playing and then nothing currently.
Yeah, it's broken again. Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh,
Do.
shit. Now playing exploration music, but
not playing anything at all, and it's at 0-0 out of 0-0. So that's awesome. Let me go ahead and fix that here.
Thanks, Obama.
We're gonna delete.
Obama never gave me $1,200.
True.
Delete.
He gave me $300.
this punk ass.
So I mean that Trump is 4 times better than Obama.
Oh God.
All right, let's calm down.
Fixing my technical problems in real time.
Tabor, how do you like your steak?
Medium rare or rare?
My guy.
Good shit.
I think I made my first rare steak the last time I cooked it, but it was like stovetop, so it wasn't.
If I'm doing it on a grill, I'll probably go medium rare. But if I'm doing it reverse sear, then I can pretty much every time get it rare and like good.
There we go.
There we go. Let me turn that down a bit.
Fuck.
There we go. So, you rested for the evening, woke up in the morning, chilled out for a little bit, had yourselves a nice fine breakfast, probably a steak, medium rare, as is loved. When eventually, through the front doors, pops your old friend Jeremy.
Oh.
He nods to the lot of you as he sort of comes over and joins you at your table. Good morning, everybody. I hope that your stay here has been rather pleasant.
No!
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
So,
I almost died to owl bears.
Yes, that's definitely one of those jobs that you don't want to take too lightly.
How did your deposit of our portly friend Gorion go?
We had a little bit of trouble initially. On one hand, he hadn't necessarily. There are particular channels that one is normally supposed to go through if they're going to depose somebody who's been in charge of something, or at least voted in charge. But given the report, I was able to persuade the Queen to take care of things in a more expedient fashion. The much more troublesome thing was the fact that he was, at the very least, a merchant lord, which meant that he controlled a decent amount of trade in the region. So we needed to redistribute that in a way that wasn't going to harm the economy too much. That took a little bit of doing, so I'm not going to bore you with the details.
How much is the Queen aware of our interaction in this whole ordeal?
Well, I made sure to put it on my report that I recruited 4 people to help me with some of my latest endeavors. So she's aware of you, anyway.
She wasn't upset that we deposed a quote
She's more upset at me.
democratically.
After all, it was my call.
Okay, that works for me.
As far as the report was concerned, she agreed that ultimately it was probably for the best. Though she's still a little annoyed at the sort of destabilization that it caused.
Can I I guess can I roll for what is the general sentiment against non-human races or whatever in this kingdom?
Sure, roll me a history check. Oops, Daisy.
Yeah.
Fix my fucking mic and it's not.
Just to I don't know, for Gil's perception of how that ordeal would have been perceived.
All right. Gil, you know that generally speaking, there are a number of different non-human races that are considered more or less normal. Dwarves, halflings, even half-orcs.
Sure.
But normally, as soon as you start deviating past that, that's when it starts getting a little more iffy as to whether or not people are going to start accepting. In rural areas especially.
So Gorion's segregation of his own city or whatever wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing in the eyes of the Queen of the Kingdom.
Kind of, only because it was segregation of all non-human races. Like
Gotcha.
I said, there are many non-humans that are tolerated much more than others. For instance, elves.
Right.
Nobody really has problems with elves.
Got it. Okay, cool. So what happens now, Jeremy?
Well, I have been requested to bring you to the capital so that you can give your particular reports to the Queen yourselves. She's still a little upset about how things have gone, and she would like a personal report from the people who actually accomplished it first before she makes a final ruling on exactly how she's going to proceed.
I don't know if I like the sound of that.
But don't worry, if you guys get in trouble, it's all going to be on my head.
So she sent...
Can I roll a history check, I guess, to see how this queen is ruled her kingdom? Obviously, we know that my sentiment towards royalty is rather poor. So if she's a total fucking
that would be a history check.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll this. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want to know, is she a warmonger? Has she done some, super unfair shit?
She chopping people's heads off.
Yeah,
most of the wars that...
would she be considered?
Most of the wars that Rerosha has been through have been from other attackers coming towards them. Okay. Her diplomacy skills have always been seen as fairly decent, but the problem is that her army has always been seen as extremely weak, and Rerosha itself is not considered to be extremely rich and... too terribly many resources, so it's usually seen as not really beneficial to negotiate with her. She's been having a bit of a rough time on that end. You also know that she is actually, at the very least, as far as the average person is concerned, considered strangely progressive. She herself is... she doesn't have absolute authority over what happens within Rerosha itself. She has to go through a sort of system of a senate, so to speak, which is usually made up of all the different sort of dukes and earls and all those sorts of people who own massive chunks of land, who either approve or disapprove of whatever decision that she's going to make. Ultimately, she can overrule them, but it's seen as despotish to do so, so she tries not to. But there have been a few things that have been accomplished in her time, such as the eliminating of slavery.
I assume that since there hasn't been mention of a king, that there isn't one.
Correct.
Got it.
Oh God. Why? Why did you ask?
Wait, that's not what I'm asking about. Stop. Chill.
Uh-huh.
That's not what I'm asking about. Calm down.
With an 18 history, you're well aware that she did once have a king, but during the war 10 years ago, that's when he lost his life.
Aww.
Stop looking at me.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure. Fuck. I wish I knew more about the like broader history of the continent, because I guess I never really wrote down like what army I was a part of that I like died in.
You died?
Well, I died
Yeah.
and then was brought back like that by a god.
Sort
That's
of.
why I'm a paladin.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
right.
kind of.
It is likely that you may have died near the Grand Duchy of Sezo in the north.
Okay.
Mostly because there was a lot of chaos going on at that time. Because after the war had been over, the Grand Duchy itself was not a country yet, until a lot of rebels had got together and decided to carve out their own sort of land for themselves. All their surrounding nations having been just devastated by the fact that they just lost a lot of soldiers trying to fight a war that was ultimately fruitless on basically all different ends. So you would probably have been a member of one of the personal armies of a duke that may have been attempting to put the rebels down and prevent them from being able to do all of that.
Okay. I think that makes sense, because I would probably like wake back up after all that happened and like just try to get the fuck out of where I was, and probably come to Appleton where all of this is taking place. Okay, cool. Character development.
Did I miss anything important about Tabor's backstory?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'll whisper you.
Grand Duchy. I was like a part of one of the. What? Explain what a Grand Duchy is. I don't even actually really know.
It's like a Dutch, but grand.
I'll take you over to the world map here.
Yeah.
Fuck
So,
Agnes also.
this is your country, where you guys are. Rerosha. This is the Grand Duchy. A Grand Duchy is essentially a place that is ruled more or less in a despot-esque way by a duchess or a duke, one of the two. Usually they tend to be either former royalty or former nobility from some other country that has been that has taken over the place, usually as a result of the fact that it's been taken as a vassal by another nation state. Now, it's not quite the case with this one, mostly because, yeah, I'll go ahead and say that at the very least, Raiden would probably know this. The Tsardom of Orodia and Rierosha itself both basically made an agreement that the Grand Duchy would not really be touched, because to do so would be to be attacking people who were members of both of their different lands. And so it sort of exists in this, like, simultaneously it's a part of their land, but also not a part of their land state. So it's still kind of organizing itself and people are still trying to figure out where it stands as far as the world stage is concerned.
So the duchy was fighting against Rierosha, or both?
Fighting against both Rierosha as well as Orodia.
Jesus.
Okay.
Orodia was one of
Sorry.
the 3 different countries that was invading Rierosha at the time.
Okay, and then the Grand Duchy, you said something about the rebels. That's where they came from? They were all...
Yes.
Okay.
Long story short, these 3 countries that surround Rierosha all invaded Rierosha about 20 years ago. Rierosha managed to fight them back through a variety of different means, but since all of their armies were more or less devastated, the Grand Duchy's people had decided that they didn't want to be a part of these wars anymore. So they all decided to rebel and form their own nation state. And they were able to do so because most of the armies were more or less devastated from the war.
And Jeremy works in the employ of the Grand Duchy of Sezo.
No, Jeremy works in the employ of the Queen of Rierosha.
Oh, so we're going... Okay, got it.
We're here. We're in Rierosha.
I thought we were going to the Grand Duchy of Sezo for some reason. Is it Sezo or Sezo? Sazo.
Says you.
Anyway.
God, you are coming out with the fucking dad jokes today. What's the deal, Salsa?
His
You
girlfriend's
know.
pregnant. This is
You are.
Is this
Look at that stash,
Is this
dude.
your gender reveal party? Holy shit! What the fuck?
Does your stash meet your beard, or did you shave that?
What is it? If it's
No, it
if
doesn't.
it's you roll
Not
a D100, and if it's above 50, it's a boy. Below, it's a girl. How's this working? All right, sorry.
Okay,
Roll a
anyway.
D100, you're like add 50 to whatever the result is.
Anyway.
Okay, so we should or will go talk. Oh, it's a boy. Yeah, it's a boy.
But a very feminine boy.
That's close enough to be non-binary, in my opinion.
True.
True. Okay.
Okay, so Jeremy told us he wants to take us to the queen or whatever.
Because the queen wants to talk to us. Or would like to, or is going to talk to us.
She would like
Well-
to hear your personal report.
Okay. 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 Alright. I turn to my party. Is this something we want to undertake right now, or...
Typically, when the queen of a country requests your presence to hear your side of a story, you don't really get to decline.
Typically, but... You know I don't really like royalty all that much, so...
Look, Ryden, all I'm saying, it was your idea for this protest. You know, I would say one could argue that the rest of the events panned out as a result of that protest. So,
You know what? I'm gonna own up to what I did, because I think it was right. I will talk
Hey.
to the queen.
I applaud you for your moral and ethical standards. Then I clap Ryden on the back.
I'm going to make one request. When you do go meet with the queen, can Glub over here be sent to do something else?
Absolutely.
Glub, I
No
will.
offense meant to you, Glub, but everything that you do within the palace, considering you are people that I have hired, reflects on me. So if you
Glub
do
just
something
doesn't
that
want to be where it's crowded, okay?
is going to have a little bit of a hard time because we're heading to the capital city.
Glub, you and I can find our own adventure.
Glub's never been to the capital before.
Glub, I'll accompany you. It'll be fine. We will do something else while they attend to the royal majesty. Is that okay, Glub?
I guess.
Okay.
I want to eat food.
We'll eat food,
Oh, there's
Glub.
plenty of food.
We'll eat
Don't
all
worry
the
about
food.
There's all the food in the world at the capital, for sure.
All right. Well, yep. Jeremy, I think we're all ready
We need
here.
to rest, though, don't we? A long rest?
Because you spent a week in the last session, the long rest has occurred.
Can I?
And I know you
Always
guys
be
ended up
myself.
fighting in a couple
All
hours,
of our
but
shit.
So we're
It is
back.
back.
At max, everything?
correct.
Okay.
Did I not to harp? Did I pork the bartender?
Yes.
Did
Okay,
you
that
just
happens.
say pork?
Yep.
Ew, you're gross.
Did I pork the bartender?
That's disgusting.
That's nasty.
All right, just making sure my work here is done.
No,
you
Miss
know?
Westcroft has been adequately entertained by
Okay,
Gil's continued presence.
good. Just making sure, you know, I'm not leaving any side quests open here.
Christ.
I am ready to go, Gil says defiantly.
All right. Let's roll out.
All right. So you guys are going to be escorted to the capital. It's only going to be a couple days' journey from Eckhurst during going, on the Western Road. So, I'm going to move you guys down here.
Oh. Holy shit!
A lot of green.
And let's go ahead and move you guys. There you guys are. To where you're coming in from.
The north, east. I know cardinal directions.
You did your best.
Basic directions, anyway.
The way that I said that was jaunted.
I like the bright green.
Where the hell's Jeremy? God damn it, Jeremy.
Jeremy!
There he is.
Jeremy!
Okay. So, you guys end up crossing a horizon during the second day of travel. And about mid-afternoon, you start seeing what appears to be a great number of buildings up ahead, and those buildings become more buildings, and then more buildings, and more buildings, and eventually you're able to see that there's a massive city just sort of sitting in front of you guys. A city that makes Appletail look like a hamlet.
Appletail was a hamlet.
I feel like bro's not gonna be happy here.
True. Where's all the greenery?
Oh, all around.
Oh, okay. This is all grass and like grassland or whatever.
All the green. That's right.
Okay.
Oh,
Got it.
okay. I thought
Oh.
that was just for the, you know, hurting the eyes.
That's all grass.
Okay. So we're like at the city outskirts or whatever.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, I guess we're already like on path to meet the queen, right?
Mhm.
Because Jeremy's leading us. I don't have anything. I don't want to like interject or anything. And Tabor's not here, bro. Glub.
Let's go drinking!
Well, actually, Jeremy, when do you, if Glub is not to meet the queen or go into the castle, should we split off here?
It might be best if you waited until we actually get into the city proper. The shanty towns that make out the outskirts of the city are not well known for having the best reputations.
I'm not well known for having the best reputations. I think I'll,
Club is also known for not reputation.
unless you have major objections, I think we're gonna step off. Are we on a carriage?
No, this would be something that he escorted you guys personally towards
Are we,
on foot.
so we're just like walking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if unless you have major objections, I think Glub here and I we can part ways, and you guys can head on to the castle, and we will make our way from here.
Very well. I'll go ahead and take, I suppose, Mr. Bro and Mr. Ryden to the Queen then.
I nod, and I'm confident at least that Ryden can speak for our intentions.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I was getting potatoes and my headphones don't have like the capability to go all the way into the kitchen. Why are you staying with Club?
Just because she's not allowed in the castle, basically, and I didn't want her to like go off by herself or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
splitting off with her.
Designated babysitter.
Unless you have like major objections, like
No,
if you
I don't
want
have
like,
major objections, I was just
would you rather
why-
that Bro and Glub go off together?
No,
I feel
I
like
wouldn't.
that's asking for something.
Would you
really
rather
bad.
you and Glub go off together?
No. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's either way, whichever way you feel strongly about. I don't really like
Well, I don't.
that much.
Out of character, like I don't want to like metagame and be like, okay, well my persuasion is like, like.
Oh, well, I have high charisma, but
I've returned.
my persuasion is 5 with a proficiency, so
You'll probably be fine. Glub and I are gonna go.
very cool.
I want to go to magic shop.
Well, we'll see how Lundy wants
You,
to
like,
do it or
have
whatever.
fucking gold, but okay.
Bros,
I
bros
thought
like
I got some last.
You have like 50, maybe.
Yeah, I got 55. Excuse the fuck you.
Okay.
Wait, Jeremy, where after your business is concluded, where are we staying in like some kind of quarters, an inn?
You could probably stay within the main tavern inside of the city proper.
Yes.
It's called the Cracked Hammer. It's a fairly well-established place.
The Cracked Hammer is the how should I say this? The innkeeper. Are they of the male or female persuasion?
Male.
Gil
Sorry.
looks off into the distance. And doesn't say anything.
Really? That changes his mind?
Well, I don't know. That's not like a yes or a no thing. Like he didn't like hang his head or anything. He's just
Yeah,
kind
that's
of.
true. He didn't hang his head.
I guess when I'm walking off with Bro, can I like turn back and be like, hey, if you do go to any shops with Glub, could you give me a quote on some full plate armor?
Sure.
Glub will get you the best deals.
Glub has no money, so
Okay.
I'll just tell Harrison I have 208 gold to spend.
got it.
So you guys will make your way down the main road here before you start entering into sort of like the between place of these two shanty towns here.
Come here, Glub.
Where's my token?
Top right.
Oh, fuck.
We're just gonna hang out. down
As you get around to this spot here. Whoops. That was
Oh God!
that's not,
Jesus!
not what I wanted to do. You see what appears to be a little dwarven man sitting on the side of the road, and he seems to be wearing some rather interesting frilly clothes as he sort of shouts to nobody in particular. But if I were to experience the love that I deserve, then I would truly be considered a king. As he sort of looks down to a piece of paper and he starts like flipping some paper pages. He doesn't have many lines. This isn't going to work at all. Oh boy. He scratches his head and as he sort of looks to both Bro and Ryden as they sort of like come up behind Jeremy. Good sirs, would you mind helping me with something, if you may? I just have something that I would like to do. Jeremy just sort of like glances over towards him and then glances back to the two of you. We really should continue moving.
I'm fine with going on.
No, why shall we? So much traveling at your request, Jeremy. How about we deal with this small statue man?
Well, if you would like to, but that is going to delay your meeting with the Queen. If you would like to come back and do other things with the townsfolk and the city folk proper after the meeting, then I have no problem with that.
Queen Shmeen.
Perhaps I should have requested that your dragonborn companion also not meet with the Queen.
It's a little late for that now, I suppose. Maybe we can. Maybe Bro won't be interested in what this man has to say.
Oh, it's not much trouble at all, sirs. I simply require a little bit of help. Well, I have a few scripts here, and I'm trying to find the perfect role for myself. So I was wondering if you might read through one of them with me.
How long do you
Sure.
suppose this will take, sir?
Oh, not more than maybe a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
He's going to hand you this.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead and
I'm
grab
gonna
that.
have to open this on my phone, or else it will
Okay.
fuck up the cameras on the
Oh, no.
stream. So
Notice how he has his phone on him.
okay.
He's
He's been good
made
so
the-
far.
He made the excuse, so it's all good. Jeremy just starts sort of rubbing his fingers against his head. I suppose I'll go ahead and wait off to the side then. And the little dwarven man is like sort of reading through his own script. So I was thinking, I'm not what one might refer to as the best thespian in the entirety of the city. So I don't want a lead role. I was wondering if you two might be willing to play Shelby and Kirk.
Whatever you need, we can help you with.
Phenomenal. Take a little bit of time to look over the script, just to get a good idea of how you want to do it. The better you act, the better I'll be able to play off of you.
Okay.
Kirk! I've never heard such a name before. I shall be that.
You shall be Kirk. Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
Kirk. You be
Then
Shelby.
you could maybe Shelby.
Okay, I'm Shelby. Okay. Shelby is a sultry and sneaky woman who has spent much of her life. Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Just making sure, New Salsa, you do have it pulled up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Aaron, Shelby, and Kirk are three adventurers who have just returned from having defeated the Scourge of the South, a monstrous beast that was terrorizing everyone and has killed hundreds. During the adventure, Shelby the rogue had almost died, but was barely saved by Kirk the paladin. They are all arriving in the pub that started their entire quest. I come inside, and I'm dragging a massive skull behind me. Right! Going to see about seeing what we can make off of this. And, Kirk, you're next.
My apologies. This is my first time. Excuse me. Well, I'd say we'll make enough of turning in our quests and selling the skull to be set for quite some time.
Yes. Finally, I'll be able to kick back, relax, and maybe get a real bath.
Now. Wait. 1 second. All right. Now. Just because we'll have money doesn't mean we can relax. There's always trouble afoot in many ways. If we don't stop it, who will?
Town guards?
And what wonderful job they've been doing thus far to require our help.
Do you ever relax, Kirk?
I've never been able to tell, in all honesty. Excuse me. Got this damn foreign tongue. I've never been able to, in all honesty. I know how much evil exists within the world, and I can never rest whilst knowing I'm not doing anything about it.
Well, I can think of some ways that'll help you rest.
I shall never touch the devil's herbs.
No, I meant something more like, how to explain it to someone as dense as you.
Anything less than direct and to the point, and you've already lost the lad.
Kirk, have you ever had a stuffed animal as a child?
Ah, yes. Captain Cuddles the Third. He protected my rest many a night.
Well, as an adult, it's a bit silly to keep such things around, but there is an alternative that works just as well.
A real stuffed animal? One I killed myself and stuffed myself?
Oh boy.
No, you buffoon. Listen, normally I wouldn't care to pursue this to its final stupidity, but considering not a week ago you saved my life, I'll give this one more try.
All right, fine. I'll try. Just sit and listen.
First time since we met each other.
Not helping. So, sometimes when an adult needs something to help them rest a little bit better, sometimes what they do is they find someone they like and share a bed with them.
Oh, well, I mean, I've never been one to frequent houses of ill repute.
Well, lucky for you, you don't have to.
Okay, well, where do I go then?
Damn it, Kirk, I'm trying to tell you I'm interested in sharing a bed with you.
This entire exchange makes me want to kill myself.
Well,
Shelby, you managed to do the impossible. You rendered him entirely speechless.
cease your teasing, Aaron. Aaron.
God damn it.
I'm flattered, truly, but
This is literally your one shot, hun. Yes or no? I'm not wasting my time.
it's harder than that. It's not that I don't find you beautiful. It's just I've always been told I should only do such a thing with someone I wish to marry.
Well, I'm an elf, and you're a human. We can do that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'll be living 100 years after you're dead of old age. Least I can do for saving my life.
Well, it shouldn't be done as a reward.
Yeah, sorry, that was my poor warden on my part. Look, I like you, and I also know you like me. That's the main point. Do you want me or not, holy boy?
I suppose it's worth a shot, no?
Well, I'm not organizing the wedding, nor being either of your ring bearers.
Well, now that's settled. How exactly does one begin?
Just shut up and follow my lead, you doofus.
Right! Fantastic! Phenomenal! Then, of course, Kirk and Shelby share a kiss, and then I look away awkwardly as the lights fade. Phenomenal! I think we've done a fantastic job. I think I can do very well with Aaron's role. I think the both of you actually would be fairly decent thespians.
What? Wait, what? Why? Wait. God fucking hell.
Oh, fuck. While I appreciate that, I did my part as a young child in the traveling troops that would come around. They might have one or two of the farm boys act in their productions, but nothing more than that. I'm afraid that's out of my zone.
Well, I know I've taken up a little bit of your times, sirs, but as recompense, I have been offered a little bit of a stipend by the Actors Guild, and I think helping me out with this is going to pay dividends. So he hands both of you 5 gold coins each.
Oh, cool. I appreciate this, and I like.
I appreciate it far more, sir. Or should I say, madam?
No, you should call me sir. Thanks very much.
Madam
I'm merely complimenting your ability to assume a sultry female's perspective.
Madam Shelby, just wait
like,
till I tell
really,
Glub about
I get
this.
like really, really red, and I like turn the other way. I look at Jeremy, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Okay, so are we going to stop for
Shelby.
everybody who attempts to recruit you two into doing something silly?
I mean, if it pays 5 gold a piece, then probably.
Great. He continues walking. Thankfully, you guys don't really find yourselves being accosted by too many passerbys. Though you do notice that there is something that sort of differentiates the two sections from each other. In one section, as you'll be able to notice, they don't really hide themselves. You'll be able to notice that there is a large contingent of people on the sort of northern end here that appear to be dressing mostly in sort of like blackened clothes. And those that seem to have the most black clothes also appear to be somewhat armed. They have like a blade at their side or something along those lines. Meanwhile, on this side of town, you note that it appears that everybody that you were able to see are either dwarves or halflings or some sort of small species of man.
I take note that I don't really like that I'm seeing any level of segregation, whether it be normal or like whether it be like self-imposed. Like I don't know if like the dwarves and halflings like feel more comfortable together in one section or not, or if it was like self-imposed. Like I don't know, but I just see it and I don't really like it. So I'm just like noting that in my head.
Bro turns to Shelby and is like, Shelby,
God damn it.
is this normal layout of cities?
I like almost do a half turn to turn back and look at bro, and then I realize what he just said, and I'm like, you know what, fuck that guy. So I keep walking, and I'm not gonna like acknowledge that he just called me the woman character that I just.
Shelby, and I
As he
walk
keeps
up.
doing that, I literally like just flip him off. Like I'm still walking, I just like flip him off so he can see it.
Did a fantastic job. I don't understand. Oh, Kirk shall keep on going. He says this all out loud.
All right. So eventually, you guys do make your way to the entrance to the city proper. There is another wall that has been constructed here. It's open, and there are 2 guards outside. They sort of nod to Jeremy as he approaches, and he just sort of like gives them a couple papers. They look over the papers for a second before nodding to him and nodding to the both of you as well. And you're able to pass through without any sort of issue. Well, outside of there, you noticed that was not exactly the best welcome that one could ask for when coming to a capital city, but within here, as you can see, he sort of gestures around himself to all the much more well-kept buildings in comparison to the ones outside. All of them appear to be at least 2 stories tall. All of them serve some sort of function. Many shops of all sorts of types. Fine dining restaurants just sort of like dot the different streets. This is the main city, and it's generally where the people who are a little bit more well-off than everybody else tend to live.
Can I take note to the demographics?
Yes. Let me go ahead and take a look at the demographics here. Mostly human. though you do, as you sort of traverse throughout the city, note that there are some halflings just sort of scurrying about. A few elves, you note a dwarf, at least one gnome.
Okay, so I realize that, you know, while comparatively to the rest of the continent, there's it's relatively progressive, but still some institutionalized racism still exists. But that takes a while to get over.
All right. He leads you through the grand royal garden. This here is the garden that is personally taken care of by the queen herself. It's rather massive, but it is how she enjoys spending her free time.
Bro, stops, and it's. I'm assuming it's well taken care of.
Oh, very much so. It's
Very much
immaculate. Better than anything that you've seen before. It's
Okay.
each individual like flower is like snipped perfectly so that it's not too big, it's not overgrowing, but it's also not so small that it's like cutting off the sort of regular interactions that a flower needs in order to continue to keep to go. Any weeds are there doesn't appear to be any sort of like malevolent plants here that would sort of destroy the other ones. They're all kept extremely well trimmed and proper. They're all organized in extremely aesthetically pleasing fashions.
I'm looking specifically. Is there any like rare type of plants?
Hold on. Let me see here. Go ahead and roll me survival.
Mm.
Okay. Upon thorough investigation, as you sort of you refuse to sort of pass by until you've examined this to the entirety that you can. Upon further examination, further in, sort of as you make your way through the sort of walkway that makes its way through the garden, you're able to note that there is a very rare sort of plant that is known as what is it called? Gray shade. It's a rather plain-looking plant when it's like in the daylight, mostly because it's only really native to dark and damp sort of places. It usually grows in the same sort of places that you might find fungus and mushrooms and things along those lines. But it appears to be sort of in its own sort of canopy, as it were, that sort of blocks off the sun from being able to get to it. And while you're inside of the canopy itself and sort of sitting in the shade, the gray shade itself is a very vibrant sort of like bright gray outline on sort of a black petal, is sort of how it looks.
Shelby. I turn around and start yelling.
What?
Shelby.
I go,
Shelby, come here.
Call me by my real name, and I'll
Never
help
called you by
out.
your real name anyway, Paladin.
Okay,
Come here.
then I'm gonna like turn back around and talk to Jeremy about the fucking weather. Like,
Why are you so sensitive?
Because that's not my name.
What is your name, Paladin?
You know my name.
I don't.
Then ask me.
Jeremy, do you know this sensitive thespian's name?
We've all introduced each other before. It's Ryden.
Ryden. I like Shelby better. Ryden, the paladin and thespian named Shelby. Please let me show you this fabulous plant.
If you insist, as long as you promise to behave yourself when we meet with the queen.
I've only behaved myself. Y'all are the ones who are misbehaving, not me. Murdering all these people.
I ask you to just act on your best behavior as you know humans like to be treated.
Oh, I guess Dragonborn aren't good enough in our culture.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that is what you're saying.
I'm
You
saying
just
you
told
have
me
to
I
know.
need to act
I'm saying you have
Less
to know
like a
your audience.
dragonborn and more like a human.
True. You know what? Yeah, I am saying that. Know your
Oh.
audience, bro.
Oh, maybe I should go to the other side of the street.
Then you know what? I won't look at the plant that you want to show me. All
That's
I ask
fine.
is that you know how to act around humans. And
The
I
gray
ask that
shade
you...
isn't happen. It's closer to a dragonborn shade anyway than it happens to be.
Are you two quite done fighting before you go meet the most important person in the country?
I'm trying to resolve it, Jeremy. I snap at him.
You're not doing a phenomenal job of it.
Have you had to deal with a dragonborn before?
Yes.
Well, you talk to him then.
Very good. He sort of comes over towards
I'm
Bro.
obviously, I'm like, when I say that, like, you talk to him, I'm like, obviously very stressed out. Like, I'm like muttering to myself, hello, your majesty. Oh, no, sorry. My lady. Oh, no. My lord. And I'm like trying to, like, in my head, I'm like freaking the fuck out. And then, like, dealing with Bro is like stressing me the fuck out. So I'm like, you know what? You fucking do it, Jeremy.
Jeremy makes his way over to Bro through the walkway, and he sort of walks under the canopy with him. Sir, I understand that this is an incredibly important hobby for you. Probably even more than a hobby. And of course, you're free to pursue this all you'd like in the future. It'd be extremely important if you did follow me, though. I would politely request.
Jeremy, you need patience.
It's less me that needs patience.
Let's go!
Sir.
And then you shall see why.
Very good. He sort of leads Bro back to Raiden. Well, for better or worse, he is with us now, so.
I'm still like muttering to I'm like, okay. And then I'm just waiting for Jeremy to like say, all right, it's time.
He sort of leads you guys over to the castle proper, and he heads up to the front steps and leads you guys up there, and you guys end up getting into the entrance hall, and it's there that he sort of like stops you to. He says, I'm going to need a little bit of time to prepare. Just go ahead and hang out here, maybe practice what you're going to say, something along those lines. Just don't break anything and don't attack anybody.
Sounds good.
I think he's talking to you, Raiden.
I'm sure he is.
He heads off to take care of what he's going to take care of, leaving you two to sort of be miffed at each other for some reason.
I'm just
Well, Bro
like
found
practicing
out that
like my
Raiden
bows.
is a racist.
I'm practicing my bows, and I'm like, tip, my lady. Huh? I'm just like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Do you have the right hat?
I don't know. I don't think so. I just have long blonde hair.
You need a fedora. Go, you guys. Glub, just like, you know, in the back of your conscience, you know Glub is like, you know what she would say in this moment. Go find the appropriate outfits.
Yeah, that's what she would say. She would
Go-
say that verbatim.
Go get some fedoras.
She okay. Fedoras are fancy.
While you guys are left there, I've been leaving Gil and Glub out of this for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and head over to these guys to see what they're up to.
All right, I'm gonna get more wine.
What's going on?
Motherfucking magic shop.
Yeah, we are. Well, I guess we're gonna find a guard first to help us, or a townsperson or something.
There aren't really any guards out in the shanty towns here, but go ahead and make me a persuasion roll just in general for being able to get the attention of somebody and getting them to
Sure.
actually give you proper directions.
I will boost your persuasion by giving
Oh,
you
okay.
advantage. Never mind, you didn't need it.
Well, 24, 22. There you go.
All right, not a problem whatsoever. Eventually, you're able to, very quickly actually, you're able to find somebody, and you sort of ask them where one might be able to find some magical supplies. They inform you that magical supplies are exceedingly expensive and might only be found in the center city. But if you know where to look, wink wink, you might be able to find it in other places.
What kind of is this just like a regular? Well, let me do this real quick. Hold on. Well, anyway, is this like somebody that I can tell is like a common person, or like? Somebody who
No, they're dressed fairly darkly, and they do seem to have like a blade on their side. It's not drawn or anything, but they're the type of person that was probably their job probably isn't washing clothes.
Gotcha. Can I ask this person, using Thieves' Cant, I guess, like in a very roundabout way, where the ladder of these people might be met?
He sort of scratches his chin a little bit before giving you a little bit, before giving a bit of a gesture with his head, and goes, "Yeah, if you want to go ahead and head where the crow flies, you might be able to find something there. Go where the crow flies, maybe have a little bit of a dip, and then maybe have yourself about 2 pounds of meat." And apparently, from that gibberish, as far as Glove is concerned, you're able to determine that what he means is continue heading down towards the towards the main city. Take a right as soon as you hit the main square, and then head 2 blocks in.
Got it. I kind of tip an imaginary, hat or whatever to this gentleman,
Mhm.
and thank him, and then I start down the road.
I don't think any of that stuff exists, Eddie said.
It exists. And we continue on the road, and then I guess eventually I'm gonna
Stop
get a little
right
bit.
there.
Right here. Got it.
Mhm. Do. So, as you're traversing down the road, trying to figure out where exactly you're going, go ahead. You see a fellow who appears to be playing on the side of the road. He's got an interesting little setup with him. He's got a lute, and he appears to be using some sort of magic to have other instruments play along with him. Having just finished a song, he gives a little bit of a bow, and the few passerby who are just sort of like meandering around and sort of watching him, he gives a showy look to. And he says, thank you, everybody, for your attention, and I appreciate any sort of donations that anybody might be able to give if they're sufficiently impressed by my lyrical abilities and performance capabilities. This next one, I believe, would be good for new travelers, as he sort of motions to the both of you. New travelers might be able to sort of appreciate this one.
How old is this person?
He looks about mid-20s.
Okay.
Glove's gonna drop 5 gold in front of him. Or
He sort of
whatever he has
stops.
for doing it.
Jesus.
He's about to
Isn't
start playing. He
related
just
yet.
sort of stops and goes, mighty kind of you, little one.
Glove doesn't understand currency yet.
Much appreciated. As
Let's
he
hope.
starts playing. As he starts playing, you just sort of start noting around to all the different people that there's only really humans that are around him, outside of you two. There's only maybe about 3 or 4 of them, and none of them are really giving you any sort of indication that they give too terribly much money. So he starts doing his performance, he starts doing a little bit of singing, and they're all just sort of like tapping their toes a little bit. They're showing a little bit of appreciation for it, but they're not really into it too terribly much. And you can see that there's a little bit of a panic on his face as he's attempting very hard to impress the people. Then again, he sort of glances down, sees the 5 gold that Glove has given him, and he starts getting a little bit more relaxed. He's sort of made what he needs to, at the very least, for a little while. So all is not lost, but he's still a little demoralized by the fact that most of the other people just don't really seem to be into what he's doing.
Can I tell like what kind of, I guess by his like outfit, I guess like the equipment he has with him or whatever, can I tell like how well off he is?
If you were judging him entirely by the way that he looks, you might say that he's a fairly well-off individual. Then again, for performers, looking really good is kind of par for the course when it comes to actually being a performer. It's possible that looking good is kind of the only thing he's been able to afford.
Got it. Can I tell if he's like, how do I say it? Can I figure out like from like his performance or anything, if this is something like he's like really accustomed to doing, or
given the way that he strokes the lute and given the way that he's able to sort of do his performance, This is something that he's been doing for a little while, probably for a few years at least. He seems to at least know how to do that.
Okay.
And the little bits of magic that he's doing to have secondary instruments sort of like playing vaguely in the air is definitely an added bonus that you won't normally get with a lot of street performers.
Mm. How many other people are there, like, in this, like, circle? This half circle?
Probably only about like 3 or 4 outside of you two.
Mm. I don't really have anything I want to do.
I don't have anything I can
If
turn
people
to
aren't
do.
feeling it, then they're not feeling it. Glove already gave him 5 gold. I don't know what
Yeah,
else, like.
Bub's done the extent of what she knows what to do in this situation.
Very good. So, eventually he ends up finishing up his song, and he gets a little, like, some very slight applause from the other people. And he sort of...
What the fuck is playing right now?
We're at a performer.
Yeah.
Sorry, my headphones, like, when I'm in the kitchen, they disconnect, so this is funny to come back to.
Yeah. So he ends up finishing up, and he sort of gives another little bow before he glances to the both of you and sort of puts his lute on his back, and he's just sort of puts his hands together and rubs them around and goes, "That wasn't too bad, was it?"
It was pretty bad.
You did the best you could do, friend.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's okay. This is hard. Glove has tried to do something similar like this before, and it didn't work out. But she did get a lot of people to watch, but for different reasons.
Jesus.
What might you be referring to?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough, I guess.
We all have our sordid pasts, friend.
I came to the city because I thought I'd be able to make a little bit more money from people in general. I mean, more people, more tips, more money. That's just common knowledge, right? But just nobody's really feeling it.
Is it because you're in the poor end?
It's a possibility, but personally, I find that those who are extremely well off are actually the least generous.
Sounds about right.
It's possible that I'm just not courting the correct audience. Unfortunately, I'm not really allowed to perform too further south, as far as the little town is concerned.
What race is this person?
He seems human.
Okay.
Why can't you go to Little Town?
Well, it's not that I can't go there, it's that I can't perform there. Apparently there's some sort of local moray, I suppose, against humans opening up shop in Little
That sounds
Town.
kind of racist.
A little bit, yes, but, well, no pun intended. But it's something that I would consider to be somewhat reasonable, knowing the history of, well, these general areas. Little Town itself has spent a very long time trying to establish itself as a valuable part of the city. And generally, it's, well, many years ago, it was united by a group of small people, halflings, gnomes, the sort, and they all decided to work together to make something of themselves. And, well, unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot of support from the surrounding people, so they never really gained any sort of trust from humans. We're allowed to frequent their establishments, but performing or opening up an establishment there is seen as attempting to take what they have made for themselves.
Okay, we already did this once in another city. We gotta gather some people, like, real quick.
I'm sorry? What do you mean?
We're gonna riot.
I don't think that would be a phenomenal idea, young
No,
one.
this has worked before. Trust me. Trust me, this has worked before.
We're not rioting.
Damn it.
Gil stops daydreaming long enough to interject that.
Perhaps I might be able to interest you in helping me to perhaps accomplish something.
Rioting?
No. I kind of require everybody to be in fairly good health if they're going to be my future customers, as it were.
Yeah, but
Go
if
on.
they won't accept it, then we need to riot.
Well, I might be able to do something, but I would require your help a little bit. I'm fully willing to give you some things that I have that I consider fairly valuable. But I would just as a bit of a deal. I would like to go into Little Town and see if I can't give a bit of a rousing performance as far as entertaining the people are concerned. There's many more people there, and perhaps they'll be able to offer a little bit more as far as tips are concerned. And if I'm able to get myself an audience, then it'll pay dividends. But if I did go and do such a thing, then I could potentially be attacked by some people who would wish for me not to be doing this. So, would you mind being my bodyguards, I guess is what I'm asking.
Glub is the best at this job. Yes.
And you, sir?
This would be in Little Town?
Yes.
We're gonna get stabbed by little people. Except I'm a little people, so I'd be more like at my height, and I could kind of stab back reasonably.
What's the compensation for this job?
Yes. Well, he digs into his pack and he sort of pulls out a small whistle. This is something that was given to me quite some time ago by a bit of a mentor of mine. It has some special properties in it. Essentially, it will allow you to I assume that you two are friends, and you might get yourselves separated every once in a while. So what this will allow you to do is to blow into it and sort of speak a message. And then that message will make its way towards the person that you choose.
Like a rape whistle.
I suppose that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Friend, you don't have anybody you could use this item with? You're willing to part with it so easily?
No, I've been traveling alone for quite some time, and my mentor has unfortunately passed as of the last couple of years.
I'll take the job. I'm not sure if I'm going to take the reward. We'll see.
Well, if that's what you would like to do.
Are you ready now?
Yes, I suppose I can pick up and get moving, and it's, the sun's still out, so still time for some merrymaking, as it were.
Well, lead on, friend.
All right. I'm just going to do something real quick.
Should have brought Glub to the queen.
Glub will never meet the queen.
What the fuck? I feel like Glub and the queen would get along great.
I mean, you can say that.
You might be surprised.
And that's possible. But
Yeah, you might be surprised.
I don't know. That's
I could see it.
Let me just make a token for something here real quick, and then we can get started on that.
It's an owlbear in the middle of the city.
Oh God, please no!
I'm not gonna do something like that to you. That would be ridiculous. Why would you ever assume that I would do such a terrible thing? Where's the picture at? There it is. Boop.
How would you?
Download. Okay. Bring it back up here. Turn the music back on. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and put you guys over here.
Oh no.
Giga.
Is there anything on the screen?
No.
Okay.
Should be.
I don't see anything. I just see the canvas.
Animated backgrounds fails me once more.
God damn it.
What was that?
Oh. What the fuck?
bothersome. Which also means that probably many of the other backgrounds don't work.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
And that is a lot of the maps that I have.
Oh,
Actually,
God.
What would the problem be?
I am not entirely certain. I set them all up beforehand. But
Huh.
Chanel, stop.
they're being annoying.
Come here. Hey.
Upload.
Don't bully your dog.
I'm not.
Do.
I miss Honey Bunny.
She went to the vet today.
Oh, baby.
All right. So here's where he's going to be set up. Go ahead and change his layer so that he's there, good to go.
Oh, this guy's a cutie.
Yeah, if you wanted to actually take a look at what he looks like.
Oh yeah, this guy's good looking as shit.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is he Gil's type, though?
Who knows? I guess we'll
Well,
find
he's a
out.
bard. Being a bard, being good looking,
True.
somewhat goes hand in hand. Usually. There are the exceptions. But, yeah. So he's going to go ahead and get himself started with a performance for Little Town.
Where's Glub?
Oh, that's up to you. Where are you?
Oh, I didn't know I had to put down my
Drag and drop yourself, little one.
Little one.
Little glub.
I don't like it. I don't like how you said that.
All right. So, he starts doing his performance. As he does so, I would like both of you to roll me perception checks.
Well, I tried.
All right, Glub.
I see.
Glub, you're able to note that there are, while there are more people in the air in this particular spot, a lot of them are sort of stopping just for the rather strangeness of seeing a human perform in Littletown, something that they don't normally find too terribly much. But you're able to sort of see past the crowds that are forming into sort of the little alleyways, and you're able to note that there are some dark figures, sort of dressed in a weird sort of light blue, that are sort of like looking out from the alleyways and sort of staring in his general direction. And you sort of note that they are talking to some other folks who do appear to have some blades at their sides.
All right, Glub's gonna go and like walk over to Gil and be like, they're gonna try and stab him. You see that? You see that? Glub's just like pointing like directly at them, even though they're looking this way. She's directly like pointing at them.
Your bardic friend here doesn't appear to take notice as he continues to sort of focus on the audience as opposed to you guys.
The bard is human.
Yes.
Glub, can you see what race that these would-be stabbers are?
That's racist.
Okay, well, what race are they?
We're not profiling, okay?
Glub, what race are they?
Do I know what race they are?
They appear to be halfling.
They're halflings.
I can just imagine 4 halflings from across the street going
So they start snapping.
with daggers.
Oh god.
I can appreciate that idea.
Are there... I might have missed like this part of the flavor. There's nobody that looks to be like any kind of authority figure nearby.
No, there are very few guards that you've been able to note in the entire time that you've been in these 2 spots.
Okay. All right. Gil's not too concerned. Has the bard noticed them?
No, he's focused very much on the audience that he's starting to gather.
Okay. Go back to your spot, Glub. We will handle this as it comes. And then I just go back to sitting, nonchalantly or standing nonchalantly.
Glub is ready to stab somebody with her
Okay.
Oh god.
So, these guys are going to start moving forward
Oh god.
as the performance continues to go. One of them just sort of like steps a little bit ahead of the rest. And he says, "Oi! You little one there! You big bastard! You get the hell out of here!"
Shut the fuck up!
No, you shut the fuck up! I'm not interested in whatever you had to say, you green little shit!
What the fuck? How dare you?
How dare you! This is our fucking territory!
You there, halfling.
What do you want?
You're talking to this one, and I gesture towards the bard.
Yes, I am!
You don't want him to play here anymore.
Exactly!
Do you not like his music?
I don't really care!
You don't like him because he's not a halfling.
I don't like when people try and come and change things around here. We're doing just fine on our own.
Don't be fucking racist!
What do you mean when people come here and try to change things? Have people...
Humans have always been trying to come into Little Town, take little places for themselves, and then they change what we had. They change what our infrastructure, our stores, our decorations, our architecture, everything that makes Little Town, Little Town. Humans come in and change it, and we're not here for it.
Is it because they start making the doors bigger so they really, really feel the little town sit in?
It's really annoying for sure. They do try to make sure that everything accommodates them as opposed to us. We didn't ask them to come here.
But I mean, if we fit regardless, I mean, like...
It's a notion of superiority!
Well,
What do you think-
You got some issues, huh, buddy?
What do you think our friend here is trying to change by playing his music here?
Well, first off, he's preying on the fact that nobody else around here has seen a human in quite some time, so he's probably trying to swindle them out of the money.
Yeah,
If-
that's exactly what he's doing.
If people who... God all fucking
The
mighty.
bard just sort of like looks to Glub. Whose side are you on?
If halflings here decide to pay him money, isn't that on them?
It's about taking advantage.
I don't think he's taking advantage.
I think he is.
Well, maybe little people shouldn't have such little...
This ain't up for
brains.
debate. You gets the hell out of here, or I'm a gut him one.
I'll gut you one!
Before you gut him one, I'll have you know that we are here as a special envoy from the Queen herself to improve human and halfling relations. And if you attack this bard, I cannot assure the safety of Littletown.
Roll
And
me
then,
deception.
yep, deception. All right.
Little town, more like Little Brown.
God help me, fucking Christ, please.
So you make your proclamation that you are working on behalf of the Queen.
Yep.
To sort of improve. Why did the fucking... Oh, and it didn't stop. Okay. To improve relations between humans and halflings. The one halfling at the front, he sort of winces a little bit as he sort of looks to the other ones. Do you guys really think the Queen would do something like that? And they just sort of shrug. He shakes his head a little bit. Right, well, maybe you are, but how about this? How about you go back and let the Queen know we're doing just fine on our own?
We will. And how about you let our bardic friend finish his performance?
Or he can just leave now. Not interested in watching people give him a bunch of money for nothing.
Okay.
You wait. You really want to bet it all? You want to double down on this and stop this one performance and risk the ire of the Queen herself?
1 begets 2, it begets 4, begets 8, begets a bunch more that I don't know because I'm not great at math.
Before you take another step, let me implore you one last time. What you might be about to do will not only affect you, it'll affect your sisters. It'll affect your brothers. It'll affect your sons and your daughters and your fathers and your mothers and your grandparents if you have them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check as well.
God all fucking mighty, please God.
That sounds more like a threat. Ooh. Yeah, it's like about to fuck up your whole family,
Okay.
bro.
He sort of glances back to the three, and he just sort of gives a little bit of a huff. Right. He turns back to you. You get him out of here as soon as he's done with his next song.
I just nod and I don't say anything.
And the four
You
of
get
them,
fucked!
the four of them start walking away. But one of them, this one in particular, sort of turns around as Glub says that, and he misses Glub with a pebble.
Dumbass!
He looks like he's gonna go ahead and start charging Glub, but the one behind him sort of grabs him by the shoulder and shakes his head as they all continue to move back. The bard, of course, gives a sigh of relief and nods to the both of you and thanks before finishing his performance. He does a fairly decent job.
Jesus Christ, Tabor.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, he doesn't do a fairly decent job. It appears that this entire thing has shaken him to his core.
Well,
Oh my
Uh,
god.
So, while he did gain an audience, he almost immediately lost that audience after this confrontation. So he just sort of sighs afterwards. Well, I tried.
Maybe you should just be a better entertainer.
It's difficult when people are shaking swords in your face.
We did the best we could, I think.
You know, you can do a different job, I'm pretty sure, where instead of shaking swords in your face, they're shaking...
He looks to you confused, doesn't know what you're talking about.
They're shaking what, Glub? What are they? Glub, what are they shaking?
What are they shaking, little one?
Glub can't stay. He's just laughing too much.
Okay. Well,
All right.
we're this one and I are going to take our leave now. I guess we will walk back towards the.
But I still owe you at least a little bit of recompense. I definitely wouldn't have gotten out of this without a few cuts and scrapes without you.
Tell you what, friend. Keep your trinket. I would caution you to share that with somebody who you find one day who you hold dear. I don't think we need your trinket.
Wait, I want it!
I don't think we need your trinket.
What? What?
It wouldn't feel right to have you take time out of your day and
Yeah, give it to me!
and place yourselves in front of some very angry customers and
Yeah, so give it to me!
not do anything.
Tell you what, if you can spare Glove, give him 5 gold, right? If you can spare the little one 10 gold, we will call it even.
Well, I can give back the 5 gold, but I don't really have another 5 on top of that.
Just give me the trinket!
Fuck.
Just give me the trinket!
Do it.
Give her the trinket, and then I toss him 5 gold out of my own fucking pocket. I feel fucking bad for this dude, alright? Fuck.
God.
He hands the trinket over to Glub.
And I toss him 5
and then
gold.
takes the 5 gold from you with a nod. Thank you very much, sir. I'll consider it a tip for the earlier performance, I guess.
Alright. I want to walk this dude to the fucking main square or whatever, so these
Oh, yeah, I saw you.
halfling fucks don't jump him.
Not a problem. You're able to get back to his usual performance spot without too much of an issue. He thanks you both once again for your help before retiring further into the city here.
Yep. Did we ever get that guy's name?
No.
No name was given.
Fuck. Okay. Are we still going
I have a
with
name
Glove and I
it,
for
but
now?
you didn't ask.
Right. I know. Are we still going with Glove and I for now?
Yes.
I
No,
wanna-
no. We'll head back to Bro and
All right. I'll be right back.
Bro and Ryden. All right, Bro, Ryden. After a bit of time, you are reapproached by Jeremy, who sort of leads you through the entrance hall into the grand hall, and there you're able to. Let me go ahead and fix the layering here. See a lovely young lady sitting on top of the throne, who greets the both of you with a curt nod.
Oh, she's young.
Yeah, what the fuck? She's banging.
Hello.
She sort of nods to the both of you. Greetings, I'm Queen Amatava, and it is a pleasure to meet the both of you. I understand that you've both been employed by my Royal Ranger Jeremy to take care of the situation that was happening back in Profar. The Gorion situation, I believe, is what is currently being referred to as.
I'm rather taken aback. I was not expecting her.
Or a better look as to what she looks like.
Oh, hold on,
Something
hold
like
on,
that.
hold on. There. Look at that.
Yeah, Jesus.
Even with my, what was it, 18 in history?
Mhm.
Yeah. I did not realize she was that young.
There generally aren't very many depictions of her.
Right. So I was like, I'm kind of like, holy shit. And,
She's probably only about, 27, 28.
fuck, I think I'm like 20. Wait. Hold on, give me 1 second. I want to check how old I am. I'm gonna be like, well, madam, I hope you're not too upset with the way that, our deposition of, Gorion happened.
Well, I'll be entirely honest. The way in which you handled it was a little brash, in my opinion. Whilst I agree with your intentions, your methods provided quite a bit of a problem for me. After all, if all of the nobles and those who are in control of the economy, more or less, believe that I am employing Royal Rangers to then employ mercenaries to then topple governments, well, that's not going to look very well on me.
I completely understand where you're coming from, milady. And I as I say milady, I kind of bow a little bit, but I also look up to see if that was the right thing to call her, because I'm not really sure.
She sort of raises her eyebrow a little bit as you say it.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from, milady, but I'm not sure if Jeremy has let you in on the details of what happened. I simply wanted to lead a peaceful protest when and Raiden doesn't even know that Gil shot that arrow. So
Yeah, he has no idea
because Gil never told Raiden that. So.
No.
And I just want to implore that I was on almost like a grandstand, almost speaking to this crowd, talking about the indifferences between non-humans and humans, and how this isn't right that a city is being run this way. And I let her know that just out of nowhere, an arrow just whizzed by, and without me saying anything, the crowd just immediately turned on Gorion, and milady, I implore you to see that while my rhetoric might have brought all these people together, surely it didn't give them the confidence to turn on the town's leader in that way. But I must say, the injustices that I saw, it was hard for us, my party, to not take advantage of it.
I can understand that. It is a little suspicious if somebody would just randomly shoot at you, all things considered. Perhaps a poorly trained guard or something along those lines. It's at the very least conceivable.
It's hard to believe that it wasn't someone that Gorion had hired.
Wait, out of character, Tabor never found out it was me, right?
I don't think so.
Nobody knows it was me except for me, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
making sure. Sorry.
Well, all that being the case, then I still have to wonder what exactly your purpose was in starting the protest that it was. Perhaps merely gathering information about what was going on there and gathering perhaps some hard evidence of corruption was all that may have been necessary. You didn't need to potentially start a riot, even if it was unintentional on your part, no?
I dare not lie to a lady of your position. To say that I did not get carried away in dealing with these injustices would be a lie. When I see something that isn't fair, everything that I've experienced up until now has led me to take it upon myself to destruct.
The Jeremy just sort of steps forward a little bit, if I may, and he sort of glances to you, Raiden. Your Majesty.
I get really red and I look down. Now
if what he says is true, then it might be conceivable that riots being what they are, the citizenry would have potentially killed Gorion. Now, granted, this was unintentionally started in a rather grandiose fashion, but from what I can tell, Gorion remaining alive so that he could be properly tried and so that he could be properly dealt with without potentially destabilizing the economy of the region is something that we have them to thank for. The Queen just sort of shakes her head slightly. You wouldn't be making these deductions entirely because they are favorable towards yourself, would you, Jeremy? No, not at all. I am merely making some observations that I think are fairly reasonable by anyone's standpoint, regardless of biases.
I wanna take note, like, as Raiden, that he like kind of it ticks off in his head what the Queen said about Jeremy, about, you know, maybe I'm starting to get some ideals of what Jeremy is all about as well, given what the Queen just said about him. Maybe this isn't the first time that she's dealt with Jeremy kind of doing what he feels is right rather than the exact word of the Queen.
Now then, I believe that your version of events is it's complicated. I cannot entirely endorse what has happened, but at the same time, I am responsible for the fact that I have given the authority to Royal Rangers to hire independent personnel when required to deal with regular issues. Ultimately, I will take the responsibility for what has happened, considering that it is also my responsibility that Gorion is currently in the dungeons at the moment, and all of his assets have been seized. So, that being the case, I'm going to have quite a thorough tongue lashing from the Senate, but at least I can potentially avoid any sort of punishment for either Jeremy or yourselves.
I'll like bow and say, we thank you endlessly, Your Majesty.
That being the case, you could do with something to make this up to me, considering that this is going to be quite a difficult political stepping for myself.
I want to kind of like as Raiden, I'm like realizing like, okay, what she just said is like, she's trying to get herself out of a little bit of shit as well. So like, maybe she isn't as all powerful as.
Well, it's not an absolute monarchy.
Right, exactly. But like, everything that like Raiden has grown up with and been led to believe, because this is his first time in front of. I mean, he hasn't even met with a baron, let alone a fucking queen yet of a kingdom. So like, him realizing, you're such a fucking pervert.
God damn it.
Him realizing that the queen like isn't all powerful and like omnipotent in this kingdom is like rather shocking to him. So to a point, he kind of realizes he might be able to like leverage something against the queen at some point. Probably not yet, but he's rather interested to hear that she has to answer to a senate, and that she can't just, every whim of hers isn't law.
The thing that I would like to be taken care of, at least as far as the local area is concerned, is that there appears to be a bit of a rumbling going on. I'm sure you've noticed a couple different shanty towns on your way into the city. From where you guys came from, I would assume that you probably came across Little Town and Shadow City. Or at least that's what the locals call them. There is also, on the western side of the city, a couple others, called the Crimson Borough and the Garish Garrison. At the very least, again, that's what the locals call them. All of them are run by rather unlawful participants in what appears to be local politics. Now, I believe it would probably be rather impossible to dismantle them entirely, but there does appear to be a bit of unrest between all of them, where they would desire to have a little bit more than they already have. If you could perhaps demonstrate some levels of diplomacy, you might be able to disarm the situation before it starts burning my city to the ground.
That only sounds reasonable for someone of your stature to worry about. Can you give us some more detail?
Unfortunately, there's not too terribly much that I know. I'm aware that Little Town has the sort of stranglehold on much of the more advanced levels of technology, as well as general levels of wealth, compared to all the rest of them. I know that Shadow City tends to harbor perhaps the most lethal of what you might refer to as the underground of individuals. The Crimson Borough fancy themselves rebels in their own right, and the Garish Garrison fancy themselves urban bandits, I believe is the way in which they have been described. All of them are problematic to one degree or another.
Might you consider one more problematic than the other? Or rather a good starting place for us that would simmer these tensions more than the other?
Well, the garrison, I believe, is... Jeremy, you've done some investigation on this, or at the very least your brothers and sisters have. Do you know anything? Jeremy just sort of clears his throat. The gang that leads the Garrison are known as the Blue Bandits. Their the head is named, apparently, Tim Hampton is his name. He's a rather large individual, from what I've been able to understand. Well, the guards aren't really too keen on heading into their territory, and we believe that he is very deep in there. They are the ones that are the most violent, from what I can tell.
Right, so it only makes sense that we diffuse the situation there as quickly as possible.
There is a bartender in the southern end of the Garish Garrison. He sort of serves as a middle point between the garrison itself and sort of the only neutral remaining territory in the city. You might be able to get something out of him. His name is Royal. Frederick Royal is his name. Gil disappointed that yet another bartender, not female.
If that's the starting point that you'll have us embark in, I'm sure we can try to take care of it as quickly as possible. Is there a tipping point you feel that this should be resolved by, or has this been something that's been brewing for a rather long time?
The queen sort of crosses and uncrosses her legs as she rubs her hands together. The main thing that needs to be taken care of is the desires for further influence and power. Disarming of their ambitions would be what I would think is the most ideal situation. But lacking that, I think that we could potentially, so long as we're able to avoid all-out fighting in between the factions, I think that would be a good thing to do. From there, perhaps figure out what the demands are. I might be able to acquiesce some things to help make them feel as if they have something that they only believe that they have.
So I want to reiterate that combat is to be the absolute last resort between the 4 boroughs of Selunium.
At the very least, if you do so, I would prefer none of them end up fighting each other. If you need to resort to combat, I would prefer that you do so outside of the public eye when possible.
Dude.
Would nighttime be part of the public eye?
Dude.
Jeremy just sort of clears his throat. Well, nighttime would be the best time if you're going to end up having to address anybody that you don't feel is going to be entirely peaceful.
Alrighty. Well, with your lead in the Garish Garrison, I think myself and Jeremy and the rest of our party will be on our way, and we'll try to resolve this as quickly as possible.
There is one more thing.
Pray tell.
I would like you to be aware. If you are captured, caught by any of these factions, and they begin to interrogate you, neither I, nor Jeremy, nor anybody else is aware of your activities. You are, for all intents and purposes, concerned citizens who are merely attempting to resolve some issues that you see within a wonderful city.
That counts for the Royal Guard as well that patrols the city, correct?
Correct.
Understood. Well, Your Majesty, I think we will approach this with quite a bit more finesse than our last excursion that Jeremy gave us. But in the most flattering way possible, I want to say, but only since this direct order came from you. Almost kind of like a joke, but like, it's a little risky what I just said.
Jeremy just sort of shakes his head at you and kind of waves his hand in front of his neck. Doesn't really make any noises, though.
Okay.
As you conclude this, Jeremy goes ahead and leads you to back out of the palace. Back through the royal garden. So,
like,
is there anything else?
Second that we get out of the main hall, I want to turn to Bro and Jeremy, and I'm like, did you, like, she's that hot? Like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, she only became queen. Queen about 12 years ago.
How
She was
old was
barely,
the king
barely an
before
adult.
that?
Let's see. That would probably be her father. If I recall, yes, King of Avadana was the previous ruler. She, our current queen, was his daughter, who was supposed to marry one of the different dignitaries that had been sent here to sort of provide us with a king, which was the main reason for the war.
Has she been married, Jeremy?
She has, briefly.
Is this a vacant space that needs to be filled for the...
Okay, buddy.
I'm just
You're not here.
I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
you're not here.
I'm thinking out of character. His euphemisms. Okay.
I'm just asking the DM. Is this something that traditionally needs to be filled?
Jeremy sort of scratches his chin a little bit. It's not that it needs to be filled necessarily. She's perfectly capable of leading this country on her own, but it is something that has been pressured onto her by a variety of different senators. The problem right now is that she doesn't really want to take any royal dignitaries or anybody that the Senate suggests because she is, she does not wish to share what little power she has left, considering that she still has to go through them, with another representative of their interests. So she would prefer to stay single, at the very least for now, and if she does take a husband, it would have to be somebody from perhaps a third party, or an outsider of some sort.
Interesting. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so I shouldn't go to the Senate to gain power with them, but rather deal directly with the Queen to earn her favor in a grand way. So I really should do everything in my power to carry out every order exactly as designated to us. All right. Good to know. Thanks, Jeremy.
Well, if you're planning on eventually getting her favor, then good luck to you, I suppose. In any case, is there anything further that you'd like to discuss with me before you begin on your assignment, I guess?
I guess I can ask him if he has any experience dealing in the Garish Garrison.
I've been there a few times. It is not exactly the most pleasant of places. Many of the people there are very selfish sorts, if not very... I think shady is the wrong word. Suspicious. It feels like almost everyone there has at least one murder under their belt.
I kind of like open my eyes a little bit. I'm like, all right. I turn to Bro and I say, I appreciate your decorum in the Royal Hall. Might we go get our other party members?
If by decorum you mean total silence, but I'm not going to complain.
Nor will I.
What
That's
was
what I
that,
meant.
bro? Bro delivers such things. No worries. Bro will have his own time with the Queen at a later date. Druid things, you wouldn't know.
I kind of like, oh.
He's gonna fly.
Like, did
he's
I miss
gonna
something?
He's gonna turn to a spider, crawl into her bedroom, and be like, "All right."
All right, we'll say let's go find our other party members.
All right. Jeremy's gonna go ahead and lead you and let you guys go do what you will. He's gonna just sort of like chill out in the city itself on his own.
I guess Bro and I will go to the last place that we saw our party members. So like towards this way.
In the meantime, Gil, you and Glub have been making your way, after you've managed to help out your bard friend there, you've been making your way further down the road. The sort of time that it took you to handle the bard situation kind of delayed you a little bit, but your attempt to find a more accommodating marketplace that might fit your very eclectic desires has been interrupted by Ryden and Bro returning and meeting you both on the road.
Gil!
Your mic is muted.
How fared your encounter with the Queen?
Shelby performed admirably.
Who?
Shelby?
Shelby.
Shelby.
Shelby. You don't know Shelby?
Do we have a new compatriot?
Bro turns and points to this, and like this, but like big wide arms. He's like, Shelby, the slightly racist thespian.
And I embarrassingly explain how we had to read a script for a theater troupe member on the road.
Had to.
Okay.
I explain it as we had to. It was our civic duty to the city. I was trying to gain as much favor as I could before meeting with the queen. You never know who might be in her ear.
That's fucking weird.
How did
I agree,
Shelby?
Glub.
How did Shelby and Kirk's encounter with the Queen go?
Well, I don't know how Shelby's encounter went, but we did learn that the queen is in rather dire straits to get the 4 boroughs of Salunia. Salunia? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Salunia to cooperate together, and that goes for Shadow City, Little Town, Crimson Borough, and Garish Garrison.
Gotcha. Well, wait. And then I look at Ryden and I elbow him a little bit. Like, how'd she look?
Dude, I was not expecting what I walked into. She's like, and I kind of go,
Okay.
You guys are fucking gross.
Okay. Hey, and I go kind of quiet.
and I
I
kind
thought
of
you
look, I
were a
look at
man
him.
of God.
I say I am a man of a god and dibs. And I look at Gil rather seriously and dibs.
Dibs. Gotcha.
We'll see about those dibs. We can talk about this later.
What is
Glub?
What?
What is dibs?
I don't know what dibs is.
Who is dibs?
Dibs is a friend of ours.
Dibs is a
Sheldon.
friend of ours.
Who's
Maybe
Dibs?
sometimes.
That's it. Anyway, I look to him and I say,
Glub and I were on our way to find a certain shop.
Magic shop.
Uh,
I kind of want to realize that it's been, I don't know what, maybe 3 hours since we've come into the city and they haven't really gotten that far from where we entered. Like, what the fuck have you guys been doing this whole time?
we got caught up with a bard.
Little town
Who-
is so fucking racist.
Everyone seems to be racist, especially the paladins.
We got caught up with a bard who had a desire to perform in Little Town, and it almost didn't go so smoothly.
And I kind of think about what the queen just asked us to do, and I'm like, God fucking damn it! I was like, how many people saw you?
We were accosted by at least 4 halflings who wanted to violently interrupt the procession.
But 4 halflings is like 2 people.
Club has maths.
I will say, in the resolution of the problem, I may have invoked the queen's name.
Well, seeing as we have clandestine operations authority given from the queen, you're not entirely wrong.
Gil
But-
raises one eyebrow.
But I will say, Little Town will probably be last on our list of stops. The queen gave me the name of a tavern keeper in Garish Garrison, which she said would be a good place to start in terms of regaining peace within the city.
Lundy, what time is it right now?
For you guys, right now, it's probably about 8 p.m. now. You guys got to get 4 or 5, and you've been doing some stuff, so.
All right. Tell you what, we will see if this shop of dubious nature is still open, and then we can go to an inn, whether it's the one in the central city or the one in Garish Garrison. We'll figure it out, but we need to check out this shop first, and then I start walking down the road, following the instructions I got from my
From your earlier chat.
my associate.
All right. So you get to about here, and that's when your directions told you to start heading into the alleyways here.
Got it.
And then eventually, go ahead and layer. find yourself a veiled individual who appears to be sitting in front of what appears to be a small shack. They sort of look at you, and you're able to tell vaguely through their sort of clothes that they appear to be some sort of humanoid female-esque creature. They don't speak anything, but they do sort of take out what appears to be a very large crossbow and sort of just set it on their on their legs as they just sort of like regard you suspiciously.
Okay. Hey, old friend. Would you happen to know Joey 12 Fingers? And then
the person sort of tilts their head at you for a second and goes, "You're going to need to get a better password when you get inside."
would you like to share said password?
Not out here now.
Monka.
She sort of opens up the shed slightly before pressing into what appears to be a fake wall, which then falls over and then reveals a large set of steps going downwards.
I look at the female humanoid and make sure that like she's not gonna do anything or whatever. Make sure it's okay to go down the stairs or whatever.
Her hand's not on her weapon, but she is just staring at you.
Okay, I will cautiously move down the stairs.
All right. Glub, are you following?
Yeah, Glob's gonna follow.
Okay. Is Bro and Ryden standing back up from all this?
No, I'm right next to my brother, Gil.
Okay. Where the hell did Ryden go?
He's right. I see him right to the east of me. Northeast.
Oh, there
now.
he is. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see where the shit.
Eyes are hard to use.
Okay. So, you head down the stairwell, and eventually, after traversing for what feels to be at least a couple 100 feet, you emerge from another set of double doors into what appears to be a giant marketplace filled with people who are all dressed similarly to the woman that you saw above ground. All of them appear to be going through a bunch of different stalls that have a variety of different types of goods available. Basically, it seems like everybody who's here, they're either veiled or masked in some particular form or fashion. And all of them are either searching through goods or plying their trades. And you can see that there's a lot of things here that are extremely eclectic, of many different types of origins. None of them seem to have any sort of rhyme or reason as to why they even exist here. Eventually, you are greeted by another lady who, with a bit of a smirk on her face, approaches the both of you. "Well, you two look new here."
Talking to me and Glub.
Yes.
We
We.
literally just entered.
This is a
So
humanoid. She looks humanoid.
She looks kind of behind you guys at Ryden and Bro. And there's two more. Interesting. 4 new customers for the market.
We are new here. What can we expect to find in this kind of gesturing around this bazaar?
As much as your imagination can take you, my friend. The question is, can you afford it?
I look towards Glub.
No.
What exactly were you looking for? Glub?
Oh. Oh fuck! I don't remember. I wanted healing potions.
Healing potions are something that we could potentially get our hands on for you. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for them?
Okay, I got 10 gold with your name on it.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be enough.
Can I do like
Feel
a
how much you got?
can I do like a check to see like my knowledge of what the typical going rate for a healing potion is?
Sure, go ahead and give me medicine.
Oh.
You have no idea.
Okay. Tell me, what is your name, friend?
I suppose you can call me Schwartz.
Schwartz. Tell me, Schwartz, what do you typically charge for a potion of healing? And
Well, if
this
you're going to find it around here, it depends on who you're going to get it from, but I can tell you that you're not going to get it for anything less than 45.
Go kind of like looks off.
Now, if you are interested, since there are 4 of you, and you all appear to be at least somewhat competent, at least in some form or fashion, we do have a way for you to quickly make a little bit of money, if that's what you need.
How's
Not
that?
exactly the most safe profession, though.
Gil's eyebrows perk up. Let's hear it.
Well, we have ourselves a nice little arena. Place where you can entertain the people who are a little bit more well off than you. They make bets, you make a little bit of money yourself, or you can make bets yourself. Though, without having a decent amount of starting cash, you're probably not going to make a whole lot for yourself, even if you win.
What kind of fights are we talking about here?
Lethal ones.
With weapons to the death.
Of course. It's the only way everybody gets excited around here.
What kind of payouts are we talking about?
Well, it depends on exactly what it is that what it is that you're going for. Essentially, what we do is we give you 10% of the betting money.
10% of the betting money. How much are the
So?
typical like betting pots?
Well, it depends on the interest, but I'd say it averages out to around 500 gold. Easy. Per
For
fight.
500 gold, 10% of 500 gold.
Mhm.
So 50.
Yes. Per fight.
That'd
Now,
be enough for you to heal yourself with that healing potion.
there is another way, of course, whilst doing it to make way more. You see, we have a bit of a tradition. If you stay in the pit for another fight, you will always double what you made.
These fights, are they, how should I say, they're one-on-one?
No. If all 4 of you were to participate, then we'd probably start releasing some beasties on you. We've got plenty that we have from all around the continent.
I see.
Let's fucking do it.
How many people
Unless
typically
it's owlbears.
How many people typically die in these arenas?
I'd say probably about half of them who participate. To be fair, many of them because of their own hubris. Plenty of people get past the first round, no problem. It's when they start hitting the 3rd and 4th round and insist on staying in that it starts to become bloody.
This is 50 gold for the whole. Is 50 gold per person?
50 gold for the whole. Stay in, you make 100. Stay in again, you make 200. Stay in again, you make 400. Stay in again, you make 800. You see what I'm saying?
Was that 4th round 800?
50, 100, 200, 400.
800.
800.
5th
5
round.
rounds.
Yeah. I turn to the party and like kind of do one of these.
You know,
I kind of look at him and I'm like, 400, fuck that, but 800. Do we have any not like? I mean, if we had an idea of like what the 3rd round would be like I would.
Well, we don't have to like. If we're like fucked up by the 1st or 2nd round, I'm sure we could just be like, all right, we're done, and we just like cash out, right?
Are we able to do that?
How would it work?
You can end at any one particular point. If you do end up going back in, however, afterwards, and you're back to the beginning.
But after every round of arena combat, we can choose to end it or choose to continue.
Of course, that's the point.
I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do it.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
I mean, 2 rounds is at least 25 gold for each of us, so.
Before we go,
I'm rather conflicted because like I want to do this for the queen, because I'm rather motivated at this point.
there's no time limit. Calm down. Right?
No time limit was given.
But
Okay.
no time limit was given, but I'll look at Gil and I'll be like, time is always of the essence.
My man. Schwartz,
Yes, dear.
do you have any, before we continue on this quest, do you have any,
Oh, I'm not a train sub anymore. What the fuck?
do you have any vendors of magical weapons in this?
Of course we do.
marketplace?
We have vendors of everything here.
What about the finer weapons, like a rapier? Do you have anybody who would trade in that?
Certainly. If it's just a simple one that you'd like, you can get them at just about anywhere.
Can you point me to the nearest one?
I suppose so. She sort of takes you a little bit further into the marketplace and introduces you to a couple different places. This is the general weapons dealing area. We have plenty of different people here that all offer things at different prices. I know that a couple of our people over here have rapiers for sale. If it's just a basic one that you want, you can probably get it for a fairly easy 5 gold.
Do you have any things any kind of rapiers that are beyond basic?
I suppose we do. She sort of goes through the selections herself and just sort of she puts her hand to her face and says a few words before she starts sort of maneuvering around the different weapons. Yes, we do have quite a few special things on sale today. The problem is the special things are much more costly.
Well, how much more costly are we talking?
She holds up one of the rapiers, and she sort of points it at you. This one, for instance, well, she flicks it twice and then says a word, and it bursts on fire. This will probably cost you a good 1,000.
Ooh.
I see. Is that like the next step up between a basic rapier and I guess the next level?
Oh, this is far more advanced than just a next level rapier. You're talking about a rapier that you can just set on fire. It can act as a torch, and you can set anything that you stab on fire. Fairly strong. Very strong. Very worth it, in my opinion.
Can I see if you're trying to like skip a step in like craftsmanship to like upsell me, or like is this literally like there's like basic, normal run of the mill rapiers that a blacksmith would sell, and then like the magical kind of territory? Is she trying to upsell me, or is this like
Arcana.
literally fuck my face, dude?
You're aware that it doesn't go straight from just basic bitch rapier to it can set itself on fire. But there's only perhaps one more step in between them, which is usually an enchantment that makes it a little bit sharper, a little bit easier to wield, and generally...
I want to say, like you realize they're trying to convince us to get in the arena, right?
No, I asked to come here.
I know, but like...
Oh, like price-wise. Well, I get it.
Yeah, like this is only pushing...
Well, we know we have other methods of making money, so...
Okay.
Of course, we'll return, I guess, to this decision later. Are we... What time is it? It's like now, like what, like 9, 8:30, 8:39?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Schwartz, are they fighting in the arena right now?
We have some people in there at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be finished in any moment now.
Are we all in agreement? And I look around to the party.
Yeah, sure.
I seem to tag along with whatever you hoodlums like to do.
Tabor's not here, but
Hoodlums.
was he in agreement? I don't remember.
I like that.
He was intrigued by 800 gold, wasn't he?
He was a little iffy.
I guess we'll wait.
All right, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna eat my chicken wings.
God damn it.
Okay.
Oh, if we gotta take a 5-minute break, I need to take my dog out. So
Well, the problem is, yeah. Well, I guess take a 5-minute break. I just wish that Tabor was here to like turn it to the fucking break screen or whatever.
Well, just entertain the masses, RNA.
400 gold for the
Tabor,
group.
turn it, turn it, turn it. Break screen, break screen,
400
break
gold for the
screen,
group.
break screen. It's time. We're taking a break.
400
We're
gold
taking a
for
break.
A break has been.
Right.
All right.
Professional.
Schwartz, I think we'll be going to the arena now.
Very good. Well, I'll take you to the waiting area, and then from there you'll be able to wait until the last group, I should say, are finished, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Gotcha.
So she's going to take you and all of your companions back to the waiting area. It's not exactly a great waiting area. It's just kind of your, how to put it. It's essentially what seems to be a large bathroom.
Nice.
Of anything.
On the way there, can I ask this lady, like, hey, is our mercy rules in effect, or?
If you'd like, but we're going to be putting you up against beasts, so they won't show you the same kindness.
So no humanoids?
No. We only do the humanoids on special nights.
And just to clarify, tonight is not one of those nights?
No, this is one of the normal ones.
Okay.
And don't worry
right
if
in-
you're
right
feeling
in
a little if you're
slight-
feeling a little guilty about it. We don't have people fight to the death who have done nothing wrong. We usually like to grab some people who are particularly vicious and bad for society and throw them in here and see how long they go.
She's talking about you, Ryden.
I beg to differ. But what this lady has said about not all of them being humanoids, like, strangely makes Raiden feel better. So, yeah.
All right.
We'll continue to walk.
You're able to hear a little bit of hooting and hollering and some shouting from the area beyond where you guys are, and Schwartz sort of gives you guys a nod. You'll be on real soon from the sounds of things, so good luck, and I hope you make loads of money so that you can spend it right here.
I'll go.
Jesus Christ. We're gonna get fucking destroyed, aren't we?
No. So, after some more cheering, you sort of hear a booming voice as you hear Schwartz just sort of addressing the rest of the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're very interested in our next group of performers who are going to be handling some of our best beasties that we have on offer.
Wait. While this lady is saying this, because we're in this little corridor, very confined, about to walk out, I want to turn to Glub and I want to say, hey, you know everybody we're about to look at wants your beef jerky, right?
I don't even have any!
Yeah, there's a lot waiting for us at the end of tonight. But if we lose, they're going to get it. And I look on. I'm not listening to anything else she's saying. I just wanted to go to her a little bit. So I look back up, and I'm starting to focus now. I just wanted to pump her. I wanted to pump Glub up real quick.
I think you only managed confusing her, but we're going to be placing them against some of our best little beasties that we have on offer for today. Now, we don't have too terribly many more, but we're going to make very good use of them, and hopefully so are our new competitors, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce to you our last performance for the night. We have ourselves 2 humans, a dragonborn and a goblin, all working together as the doors leading to the fighting pit open before you.
Woo!
Hey, the animated backgrounds do work.
Yeah, I redid that one while we were taking a break.
Oh, okay. Looks good.
It's like, are the crowd cheering? What are the crowds doing?
The crowd is cheering. They're sort of like it's less like a cheer and more just like a oh.
As I
guys are
walk
sort of coming
out, since I have a lot of experience walking out of tunnels, I want to walk out. I want to walk out with my shield and my warhammer. And I want to go like that, and I just got just tons of swag walking out.
God damn it, dude.
Bro,
the swag is felt as the audience starts.
Just a and then I take a quick kneel down,
And you do one of these?
And I take some of the sand in the
No.
I take some of the sand in the middle of the pit and I throw it up like that.
All right, LeBron, calm the fuck down, bro.
Of sand. That's my swag right there.
God damn you, dude.
Yeah.
This little bit of extra performance does elicit a nice, very collective cheer from the crowd as they notice that there's somebody who's a bit of a showman who is in the latest.
Bro, not to be outdone, also walks out. But him being the majestic dude that
Here we go.
he raises his hands nice and wide as he does, and he slaps them together, and using his Druidcraft cantrip creates a nice little. Are there any like candles, braziers around?
Not in the general arena floor, but like above you there are, probably about like 10, 15 feet above.
All right. He does that and he goes, shh, right? He goes like this, shh, and he, with Druidcraft, cuts out all the candles, right? And he goes, and then he turns it back on. And he's like,
illuminating the entire area for you guys once more, bringing yet another cheer collectively from the audience as they're starting to get really excited to see what you guys are capable of. We have one guy who's banging his sword on his shield. We have another person who's able to control the elements. They're sort of looking expectantly at Glub and Gil and wondering if they're going to do something.
Fucking fine, dude. Fuck. All right. Gil draws his rapier and like flourishes it in like this fucking insanely dexterous way. I guess I'll slide a hand okay for this?
Sure, go ahead. Go for it.
Fucking please.
Please do it that one.
Oh!
And like this, like I'm like a revolver ocelot, like with his dual revolvers, but like with like a single rapier. I'm just like flipping it around or whatever.
Twirling it around in a way that if anybody else were to attempt to replicate it, they would end up slicing themselves into ribbons. It's extremely hard to follow with the eyes, and it's extremely impressive for everybody as they all instead of cheering for you, they just kind of give claps of impressed. Of just being impressed at your general dexterity.
And I kind of look down after that and I go, Glub? Anything?
Glub just kind of like stares. She,
I was just kind of like, I'm here.
She starts like tap dancing in the storm. And then she proceeds to dust herself up and just sneezes all the fucking.
Glub very rightly elicits a lot of laughter from the crowd as she does her little thing. Go ahead and place yourselves inside the arena wherever you would like.
We're coming in from the left or the right, does it matter?
You're coming in from the right.
It's a fucking big arena, god damn.
Yep.
I'm afraid.
It's massive. There's lots of people here.
Alright.
Wait, hold on. Why can't I drag my guy?
I don't know. You should be able to.
bio and info, that picture.
Oh, whoops. That was the incorrect layering.
Oh,
Should be on there.
Okay. Oh,
well, now there's two of
we
you.
have two.
There's two write-ins.
There we go.
Nope, I'd like to keep that. That was meant to happen.
Well, you're not an echo fighter, buddy. Let's calm down. Whatever
Hold
it's
on, I
called.
need to
Echo
throw
something.
back in. There we go.
Cool.
For some reason, Bro's HP and name wasn't showing for me, and that was bothering me. All right. All right, everybody. We have for our first match for tonight for these fine little things here. Something nice and easy, but also nice and ferocious if you let it get a little out of hand. We have ourselves a baby little wormling for all of you. I hope you all are ready to see these four become Dragon Slayers! As the other gate opens.
I'm not using that, sorry.
Howard.
And,
Okay.
Are we rolling? Are we rolling initiative?
yes, as... Whoops.
Coyote.
Accidentally made it a part of the map.
Dude, my fucking
There we go.
initiative roll sucked. Fuck.
As this little thing starts just sort of like flies out.
Ah.
If you look at it.
Jesus.
All right.
It's only
not a-
about that
The
big though.
First round.
It's only 5 feet.
Yeah.
By 5 feet. Okay.
It's a little one. It's a teeny tiny one.
Jesus.
It's just a baby.
That's the baby boy.
Baby
Roll
boy that
initiative,
you're
Glub.
about to abort. Late turn style.
Wow.
To abort this baby.
You don't know that. He might fucking beat all our fucking asses.
It's also a possibility. Okay. Descending. And let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit of music going, shall we?
Oh, I like it.
I like it. All right. So, we're going to be starting with the little baby. And let's take a look here. So, it's going to start coming towards you guys. Go about that far. As it starts flying towards you guys. And that's about all it can do for right now. As it's trying real hard to get to you.
Yeah, it's real fucking far.
Yeah.
This place is massive. I'm pretty sure my thing right here is only 30. Yeah, fucking my
Yeah.
range goes up to like 30 feet. So, oops.
So, with that, Glub.
Glub, this is Glub, and she would go farther, but nah.
It's flying, right?
Yes.
Wait, how
Probably
are we
about-
dragging this again? How do we do this? Shift?
Left click to hold, and then right click.
Oh, okay. Jesus, yeah, that's fine.
I don't think that was right.
I don't think that was either.
I think you just went 75 feet in a single turn.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
did I run? Oh, I mean, obviously it's not even. I didn't know that I did.
That's as far as Glub's gonna go. Glub, do you have any spells you're gonna cast, or
Nope. Still
Okay.
too far for anything.
Gil?
I guess I will do. I guess I'll move over here.
Okay.
Then I'll be done.
Gonna position yourself a little bit behind Glub, just in case. Use her as a nice little shield.
Hell yeah.
Bro, how you positioning yourself?
Bro is going to tell the group, I'll stand back a little bit. And go here and right in front of Glub, like right here, cast mold earth and make this difficult terrain right here.
Okay. So you're gonna make this part difficult terrain. I'll go ahead and pull one of these.
Wait. That's silly. Never mind. Can I
Okay.
retract that?
You're not gonna do that.
No, never mind. Not at all.
Okay.
It's flying.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I was like, well, but I can't really metagame and be like, don't do that.
Anything that you are going to do?
No.
Okay.
That's it.
Ryden, how you positioning yourself?
I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right next to Glub.
Okay.
Can I technically ready an attack?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and do this. I think I can move in the other. So it's gonna get about this far, and then Raiden, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Come on. Big money.
It's not exactly a high DC, but yeah, you make it. So you take 9 damage
Fuck.
as a gout of acid erupts from the little baby dragon straight towards you. You're able to avoid a decent amount of it, but some of it gets on your arm and you can feel it burning into you.
Just for as a player, can you explain to me how 9 damage hits me?
Okay, so when it's a dexterity saving throw versus an area of an attack spell, the way that this works is you save for half damage. The idea being that you don't get fully out of the way.
All right.
So, and you always round down as a GM.
All right. Okay.
So that's going to be this thing's turn. It didn't quite get into melee with you guys, but Glub.
I'll never forget. I had a professor who also rounded down, so I had an 89.5, and so she just gave me an 89, and that I'm tilted still thinking about it. I was like,
You always roll round up then, because I can make that 10 damage.
No. In terms of that, I was not a fan
Let's,
of rounding down.
Let's keep the anecdotal stories about rounding to ourselves.
Alright, so I'm gonna eat an infestation.
What are your actual? Well, never mind.
What? My spells?
Yeah.
None of your fucking business.
We don't know. We don't.
You
know.
just can't ask a druid her spells.
Yeah, also, it takes a fucking week, so why am I not gonna use my cantrips?
A week.
A week?
Week.
All right. Roll your
A
lice.
week.
Finish your lice.
Okay. It fails its save, so there you go.
Nice.
As you start scratching your head and throwing a bunch of parasites into the general vicinity of this thing.
Oh, do you have a ferret?
Okay. So a 2, I believe, is north, correct? 1 is north, 2 is south, so it's gonna go this way. And that's gonna be 5 damage to it. Putting it down to that. Okay. Is that it for you, Glub?
Yeah, that's it.
Gil.
You muted your mic.
All right. So I'm gonna let's see. 5, 20. I'm gonna come over here, then over here, and then with just. I mean, I'm sure Lundy knows, but gonna go ahead and utilize this to get a bonus if I hit, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and have you move down here to do that.
Oh, because diagonally
Yeah.
glub is. Oh, okay, sure. Let's try one of these. Nope.
That does not hit, unfortunately, as the thing just sort of like zips around your rapier as you sort of try and stab at it. It's kind of difficult. It's a small little thing.
20.
It's just
Dude,
flying around really
Hold
quickly.
on, I'm so sorry. Channers, I was just looking at your camera, and all of a sudden, I see a ferret just scurry across the room.
Oh, shit, close the door.
I don't know who it was. He went towards the bed, whoever it was.
So I'm going 10 feet back behind glub.
Right there!
There he is. There he is.
Holy
Hey,
shit.
bud. Hey, buddy.
I was like just watching her dance, and then all of a sudden across the floor, I just see. Like that.
Hey, little
That's
buddy.
a big old boy. God damn.
Yeah, he is. All right.
Oh my lord.
So unfortunately, Gil missed. Puts us over to Bro.
What? You seem so offended now that I'm kissing you back. Like he was kissing me, he's giving me kisses on my lips, and I kiss back, and he's like, "Oh, how fucking
No,
dare you?"
only I give the love.
So, is there anything?
Attack the dragon, Salsa. Goddamn.
I get that, right? But it's so lame.
What do you mean lame?
I don't want to just
No,
attack a
like
dragon.
like I can attack the dragon, right? If I attack the dragon, like I'm holding my, and it's not a dragon. I'm holding my big spells for like later.
Well, yeah.
I don't have any neat
Run
cantrips.
up?
Yeah, I can run
Why
up,
don't
but
you
then
fucking have any
Yeah,
useful
I'll run up
cantrips?
because I didn't know.
What are your cantrips?
Mold earth and druidcraft.
You can't just ask a druid what his
Wait,
cantrips
that's
are.
I only have two.
Two.
I'm-
And then
that's why I
next-
asked
next
before,
level
like,
you
hey,
get three, yeah.
When do
Am I
get
really-
my third cantrip?
Am I really out here doing the most damage with 1d8 plus 2 and then like 2d6 or whatever?
Yes.
No, I'm about to swing, and then I swing.
Do you remember when Salsa killed like
That's
5 troglodytes?
With his fucking brambles or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to use it.
Because they just
doesn't
had to run across that fucking bramble
he?
stuff.
Right. I can do my damage whenever the fuck I want, okay?
All right.
Next
5 damage.
blaster.
Boom. Easy peasy as Bro comes forward, twirls the staff around once, twice, tries to replicate a little bit of the dexterity that Gil was showing off earlier before bringing the staff over his head. Boom! It's bopping the thing right in the face.
That's how you hit this rogue.
Riding.
Alright, I'll do a little sprint over and smack him. Nice. That's all I'll do.
Okay. The 16 does not hit, unfortunately.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Damn.
I did like that you assumed, though. That was cool.
Well, a 16 with the first round, yeah, I assumed. Okay.
Bro
alright.
with the lowest AC should not be up front.
Okay.
I'm just
On the one side,
saying.
there's not really a whole lot that it can do in
What I was
response to
saying.
you, so
That's fine.
it's gonna try and hit Ryden since he's right next to him. No, it's gonna try and hit Bro because Bro actually hit him, but he only is gonna roll. He's gonna roll a nat 1 and not manage to do anything as he lashes out with his biters and manages not to get anything.
And then bro bites back. As a thingy.
Bro gnashes his teeth back at the dragon. Glub.
Glub's gonna.
Yeah, wait. Wasn't that flanking?
No, it's
No,
it's
they
opposite
have to be
ends.
like this to flank.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, can Glub attack from like here, or would she have to go like around like here?
You can move through a space that's occupied by your ally at half speed.
So 5.
I'm gonna move over here.
No, I guess that works.
Okay.
I'm gonna primal savagery.
Nice. So let's see.
God damn it! I rolled.
This is
a
your next
six. I
attack.
rolled a six.
That's fine. The way that this works, because it only stops working after you hit something, you still have your primal savagery up. It's just you haven't hit anything yet.
Fuck yeah.
So you don't have to cast it again. So 7 obviously misses. But you do have advantage because you're flanking with Ryden, so
Oh. Oh.
well,
All right.
I'm giving you what I can here.
All right, so I'm gonna go. This should be 25 because I'm moving through right in, and then 5 is 30.
Correct.
All right, well I'm gonna go here, then here. Let me try my hand at this shit. All right.
All right. Give me an advantage attack.
Wow.
No?
Okay.
No luck on that front.
All right.
Bro.
Bro kind of looks and be like, Are y'all even trying? And then
You also miss.
and rears back. No, I didn't miss.
Yeah, you did.
Wait, I have advantage, by the way.
I
feel
hope you
so
roll it.
bad
Oh
about
my
advancing in this
God.
thing, but also, we're missing.
Nat 1 and then a 2. That's what I like to see.
Oh my god, these rolls.
I hope we TPK this fucking wormling.
Goodness gracious, bodacious. I don't know what to say about these rolls.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Raiden, your
Hit
turn.
him!
Okay. I will. Give me 1 second. I want to read through my shit.
I don't think I've used half of my shit, so I don't know it either.
If it's frightened, the only thing it can't do is move, right? Like it can still attack.
No, if it's frightened, the only thing, well, yeah, the only thing that it can do is move, and it will move directly away from you, wherever you are, in relative to itself.
Okay, I'll attack with my warhammer. Oh!
There you go.
Let's go.
Eat its
Okay,
ass!
11 damage. And then as a bonus action, I'll channel Divinity, Vow of Enmity.
Enmity.
Okay, Vow of Enmity, there you go.
As a bonus action, you can utter a Vow of Enmity against a creature you can
Yeah,
see
advantage
within
on attack rolls against the creature for 1 minute. You're already flanking it, so...
Just as me or the rest of the party?
well, all of you are flanking it right now.
True, actually. So, I guess... Would that use a Divine Sense or a spell slot?
I would use a spell slot.
Okay, fuck that. Never mind, I won't use that. 'Cause we're all flanking it.
I'll go ahead and let you have that back. I shouldn't, but
Sorry.
it's
It's the first time I've used it, so okay. Now I
all
know.
good.
Now
You
I
got
know.
excited.
Now I know.
Also, okay. Raiden, you just smacked it, so it's gonna bite back at you. Does the 20 hit your AC?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you take 6 damage altogether. That's all it really does with its bite attack. It's not extremely strong.
I have 13 health left.
Dude, I feel so bad, like, bullying the shit out of this game. We're also so
We're not even
bad
hitting
at
it. We're not hitting it. Dude. We're not-
Yeah, but we're also so bad at being
It's
bullies.
bullying
Like,
us,
Yeah.
dude.
let's get some
You
more
guys
guys in
didn't
here.
talk to a merchant to see
That's really loud.
how much
There we go.
half plate was, or plate was.
Because
No, you didn't really
guys
check in
came
with
back
that, no.
Before we got to do that. You could have been like, hey, did you get a quote? And we would have been like, no. And then you would have been like,
Yeah, right, that would have helped me a lot. Not getting a quote.
we did our best.
Go, Power
All right.
Rangers.
Glubby.
Well, it's gonna...
Your primal savagery is still up, so
God fucking damn it. But I have
you have
been.
advantage.
God
Wake me up inside, dude.
Can't
Can't wake up. All right, please.
Gil, your turn.
Nope. There we
you
go.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then one of these. Ah!
13 damage. Okay. All right. It's really, really weak right now.
Wait, I got hit.
You put down Gills, not the thingies.
Did I get hit?
Yeah, wait, he
Um,
has like barely any left.
I think you subtracted my own damage from my own HP.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got really scared. I was like, wait, when did I get hit? Why am I so
I
low?
should zoom in here
I've been
so
the
that I don't
lead, so I'm
accidentally
sorry.
click on the wrong people.
Gil is now dead.
So that's 4. Wait. Okay, so that's 14. All right. Cool. So then that means, Gil, you do manage to finally stick it through.
Yes.
Oh, thank fucking God.
That only took a lot more than it needed
Wow,
to.
okay.
The crowd cheers for a little bit, and some of them kind of laugh because you guys were, for the most part, just kind of swinging at a thing that you were having a really hard time hitting. But of course, Schwartz comes back on with her extremely loud, booming voice, going, "And we do have some Dragon Slayers tonight. Would the Dragon Slayers like to test their worth a little bit more and move on to the next round? Maybe double their money?"
I'll kind of like throw my head down and look at Gil, and I'll just like give like a slight nod. How much time do we have before the next round starts?
About 30 seconds.
So
What is
that's
that like
enough?
in combat time? Or is this like 30 seconds like real time? Oh, okay.
So can I lay on my hands myself for like 10
Wait.
damage?
Paladin,
Yeah.
before you do this, let me cast Cure Wounds
Oh,
on you.
okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind.
Oh fuck, dude. Oh god.
Okay,
I don't think we should do this, y'all.
I don't think we should do this either.
Let's
We
do
are
at
not
least
having
one more
good
round.
luck right
At least
now.
one more round.
This is a bad omen.
At least one more round.
I mean, she said that most people survive the first one.
All right,
not the
Gil.
second.
Gil pulls out a coin. Heads. We
Yeah.
continue on.
Wait,
One-
wait.
One we continue.
Glove has the perfect coin for this.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Wait.
Alright, so
She got-
heads, we
she
don't
got that one.
continue, and tails, we do continue.
Let's
Wait.
just continue.
What coin is this?
Don't worry about it. Glove found it a while back. Okay, so what? Heads, we don't continue. Tails,
What's
we do.
heads? What's heads? What number?
I want a fucking.
1 or 2?
Just it doesn't. Wait. Okay. Wait.
Wait. What?
There's like a meme or something.
Nah, it's just heads or tails. Glove has a special coin.
Yeah. Glove has
Heads.
a special- It's heads, no matter what. But you
Okay.
guys don't know that it's a shirt coin.
All right, we continue.
What? No, I said
Wait, what?
heads. We don't.
Didn't you say heads? We continue?
No, I said we don't. I literally said it 4 fucking times.
Did she?
I thought well, okay.
No, she said we don't continue on heads. Tails, we do continue.
Why do we listen to Glub?
That's a question.
That is a fucking valid ass question.
We never listen to Glub,
I
and now
will
we're gonna
say-
listen to Glub now.
Has the perfect coin for this situation, and we're not continuing.
Glub, that's a neat trick. That's a
Low
cool
key
coin.
though, low key, like when the fuck have we ever listened to Glow?
Yeah, like that's what my guy says. That.
Maybe we should.
No one said. No, I'm not saying that. But like, bro wants to continue fighting, right? So he's obviously gonna say whatever's gonna like if the coin didn't land. So that's why he's like, let's.
All right, I need a vote. Are you guys continuing?
I say one more round at least.
We're gonna get fucking wrecked.
We got a
I say
yay
one
from
more
Ryden.
Let's.
One more.
This is just like the Owl Bears.
A yay.
The owlbears left me fine. I wasn't touched.
True.
Yeah, because you were like a million feet
I
away.
think Glove. I think
That's not my fault. You can't have.
Glove. I think we'll be okay. We'll do one more and we'll call it quits.
Glove is making a note.
All right, Glove made a note.
Alright, it looks like our Dragon Slayers are looking to stay in a little bit longer. Can they maintain that title, though, as they go up against the not quite dragons?
Okay,
As,
during this, I want to lay on hands 10 health to myself.
okay.
So I have 26
As they,
health again.
A flock of little creatures start flying in.
Okay,
Oh,
I have
God.
Why is everything
5 health.
flying?
Hold on, I have 5 health on lay on hands left. Okay. I have 26 hit points. Okay.
Okay. Sticking with the same initiatives, or do you guys want to re-roll?
Reroll.
Sure.
Okay, let me delete you guys. Go ahead and re-roll initiatives.
There it is. All right.
Wait. Oh, there we go. Did I get the same initiative? I think I did.
Nice.
I think I rolled an 11 last time.
Okay. Descending.
Oh my fucking god, dude! There's so many of them.
Bro!
I hate everyone.
You want to take a look at what these things look like? Aw, aren't they cute? Now murder.
It's a good thing there's fucking 8 of them.
Oh my.
We're fucked.
God.
It's over. TPK right here.
God, you guys are fucking awful.
Okay, after this, we listen to Glove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time to whip out those spell slots, boy.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Gil.
I'm reading all my shit.
Gil
right
is
now.
stowing his rapier and drawing his bow.
Okay. Question is, what's Bro planning on doing?
Bro says, boom, and puts a little the fireball right 60 feet away, right there.
Right here?
Hold on.
Up one and
Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
have me control it? I like controlling this.
And you should have control now.
Cool. Yeah.
A ball of fire appears in the middle of the arena. It appears that one of our contestants is trying to fight fire with literal fire.
oh god.
Is that you then, Bro?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Glub? What would you like to do?
I'm debating whether I want to transform into something or. No, you know what? Okay. I am going to cast Fog Cloud behind us. So, like, here.
Is this underground?
Okay.
Or actually, right here.
Yes, all the light that you see is from torches above you.
So, right here, or whatever, because it's a 20. What is it? 20 foot radius.
Okay. Let me go ahead and draw that here.
Okay. So, anyway,
you want it-
we're
and
not
you
in
want
it
it-
right now, but it's behind us.
Oh, okay. So you want it like kind of like this.
Yeah.
Let me just
So
make
I'm
sure I
in
got the length right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Just in case they have some ranged and we can back up.
Oh, it's supposed to be double that size. I'm dumb.
Oh.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
20-foot radius. Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Do you want it covering us already?
No. I
No?
want it behind us so
Okay,
that
okay.
you guys can still do your thing.
Can
so I
we
know what I'm
move
doing.
this thing out of the way?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and grab that.
Okay. So are we half covered or are we not covered at all?
We're not covered at all. At least from what I want.
Okay.
Bro is, but you guys are.
Unmute your
Okay.
mic. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
How's it gonna work if we're in the fog ourselves? Can we see out of the fog?
Like you can see out of the fog because you're not in it. Bro is in the fog, so
If-
he'll have a little bit hard time, but he just needs to literally step forward like once, and he'll
Okay, so we can't attack from out of the fog.
right.
The
Okay.
fog is in case they have ranged attacks. They're forced to come to us closer.
Got it. Okay.
All right, that's it.
I will shoot an arrow at the closest one.
Okay,
This one. Yep, that one.
gotcha.
The heart of the cards.
That hits. All right. You shoot an arrow at one of them, and it's immediately shot out of the air.
Oh fuck! You think
okay.
they're not that strong?
Alright,
Okay.
alright.
I'm gonna wait. I'm not done yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do one of these. Wait, I already announced one of these, and I'm
Okay.
gonna go kind of like to the corner of the fog. I'm not in it, but I'm like from line of sight for at least the bottom half of these. I'm like out of sight, and then I'm gonna, assuming you're okay with this, I'm gonna try one of these. Okay, that wasn't very great.
Let me take a look at them. Okay. You do that.
Yep.
Raiden.
Alright, I want to cast Shield of Faith.
All right.
So I have 21 AC right now.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, that's all I'll do for right now.
Imagine not having a fucking ranged weapon.
That's the life of a paladin. But I have 21 AC, so
Yeah,
pretty
whatever.
fucking good.
If they even make it here.
Hopefully.
Uh-huh.
And I will slink back 5 feet. Because that's a bonus action, so I'll walk back 5 feet into the fog and cast Shield of Faith.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right. These things are going to start moving. Let's see. They've got that much movement, so they're going to do these. Well, they're all going to move basically together, so.
Oh, good God.
And that's all they can do. Bro! I like how the dead one moved with them, too.
He's helping.
Give me a second. One second, I'm making sure. I gotta make some measurements, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Not a problem. I'm going to find some more music for us to listen to. Not that this is bad or anything, but, you know, same thing over and over again can be a little bit, woo!
Wait, I gotta read this spell correctly. I gotta
Okay.
make sure I do it before you originate. Alright,
Feel free.
thank you. Alright, I see it. So if I'm standing
I'll go
here.
ahead and...
Bro
Oop.
says, "Let me show you how it's done."
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Jump
Oh.
right here.
God almighty.
They're flying.
Yeah.
And then goes like this.
I know this song.
Boom! Like that. And cast. Underway.
3 of them made their save.
So they take half the damage.
Correct. So...
And they're pushed 10 feet away. Wait, no,
This
I'm
one-
saying they aren't pushed.
Correct. Is like that, and the rest take what looks like 5 damage. Let's down to that. Alright, anything else for you? Anything else I can do for you today, sir?
And then as a bonus action, slam that boy in, or I slam that boy into that guy. That one.
Okay.
Wait, I lied. Slam into that one, sorry.
Okay. One made their save, the other one didn't. Go ahead and roll damage for your flame sphere. That's 2d6, I believe.
Yeah. I think the actual way it works is that only the one that I slam into gets hurt.
Oh,
And
that's
it
true.
has
The
to-
other one that's
has
what
to
has
end
to be
on their
within
turn.
5 feet at the end of its turn in order for it to get hurt. That's fine.
Did I already cast it before? Did I not type it out? I guess not.
No, you did. I just forgot how it worked. But there you go. All right, that one is dead. So you got those 2 on your flank there, and you got the rest of the other 5 over there. Glub.
Alright, Glub's gonna... How high up are they flying?
They're only about like 10 feet in the air.
Okay, well that's still way too fucking high for Glub. Gonna cast...
Okay. My dice are being very laggy. All right, failed at save.
And that's for this one? Shit, wait. This, god damn it. This one.
Gotcha. He is going to go ahead and drop dead from infestation as the fog of parasites floats over to it, covers it up, and causes it to cry out in pain as it falls to the ground limp.
So bad.
Making players feel bad about the things that they kill is one of the greatest joys of being a DM. Kill.
Okay. Gil is gonna shoot at this one.
Okay.
Yes, King.
Easy peasy.
Get it.
Get that damage.
Oh,
Easily done.
Fuck.
Another one sniped clean out of the air. It actually ends up going flying several like 20 feet as the arrow sticks straight into its skull and flies it all the way back.
what does the crowd do?
The crowd yells at this. There's much clapping, a lot of cheers, a lot of whistling. I can't do it.
All
But
right. I'm moving back, and then I'm tucking into the fog back here.
Riding.
I'm not moving out of the fog. That's my turn.
Okay.
Jesus.
Bro's about to get eaten alive, dude.
Yeah, he is. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god!
To be fair, like he knew what he was getting into, right?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, there's like thug
Almost
here
18.
for us to not get attacked. Like,
That's 3 nat 20s!
To be fair, only two of those nat 20s are actual gonna be nat 20s. Let's see. So that's gonna be
He's dead.
what's a pseudo dragon's to hit? It's a +4. All right, so that's 21 for the first one, a crit for the next one, a 17 for the third one.
I'm only 12, so.
So all of them. Oh no, yeah, all of them hit. Okay.
Bro!
Bro's like dead, right?
Bro, what the fuck?
Maybe.
I honestly
so
don't
it's
feel
gonna
bad.
be 1, 2, 3, 4,
I gave everyone
5, 6,
50.
7.
I'm doing my best to support everyone when I'm forced into a situation I don't want to be in.
It's 19 damage.
Wow, so many nat 1s. Dude, you were so fucking lucky.
he still dies, right?
Yeah, he's
No.
still down.
Well, he's like unconscious, but he's not overkilled. He could have been overkilled.
19 damage. I'm 22 health.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
you said, okay.
oh, that's right. We gained a level. The
Oh my
fucking
dude.
thing on the sidebar hasn't been updated. I need to hit up the editor for that.
Or you
Fuck.
could do it.
I can't.
Is it
You
my
didn't-
turn?
You didn't give me the
Yes, it
fucking
is.
document for it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Bro, after surviving such crazy odds, goes, ha! Let me show you what a true dragon goes like
Clap.
this, and then breathes in, pushes out everywhere, but this time to make sure he casts it.
Wait, 5 nat ones. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's a level 2.
5 out of 7 nat 1s. That's actually fucking mind-boggling. Like, you need to hit the fucking casino after this.
If it weren't already closed.
Let's see. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D20. All but one made their save. Crazy.
How the
Which one did you-
turntables.
Fellow Office fan.
Let's see. So that's 11 damage. So that's 5. So that puts you at there. That puts
Shut up, Tabor.
you at there. And that puts
I
you
know
at
you love
there.
Mike Scott.
You're dumb.
That puts you there.
Scott, you
And one of them is
fucking
dead.
army.
Glub.
Wait,
Oh, wait, true. You have a bonus action. My bad.
which one's dead?
The one on the bottom right corner, right there.
All right, that one's dead.
Also, you have a bonus action that I forgot about.
Yeah. That's why I was like, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Slam into that, dude.
Slam the fart.
All right, go ahead and roll damage, but he's probably dead regardless of what you do, because you really can't roll lower than its HP.
Killing these babies.
I just put an X on your fucking thing.
He killed the orb.
The orb is dead.
There we go. All right. Yeah, literally can't possibly not kill it. Now Glove.
Alright.
I'll move these guys up here.
Glub is gonna cast Infestation
Again.
again on
That is Glove's standby.
yeah.
Made it safe.
Goddamn.
Kill.
Gil, a master guerrilla warfare tactician, is going to pop out of the fog.
very well right now.
Pop out of the fog. We're going to snipe at this one, since that doesn't jeopardize Bro's life if I fucking miss. This one. We're going to go ahead and ready our longbow.
Easy.
Dude, I'm literally
Yeah, you're the only one.
a
fucking
terrorist
kidding.
right now. I am terrorizing these fucking drakes, or whatever these are. I do 7, and then I pop back into my fog. That was on this one. Oh well, it was. Well, I guess it does. I guess it doesn't really matter. I was aiming at this one technically.
We'll go ahead and make sure it's the correct ones. Nope. Ryden, you do anything?
I'll say, ah! And I'll run up to this one.
What the fuck?
Ah! And I'll Warhammer
Easy. Done. Go ahead and roll damage.
for 10 damage.
Dead.
Damn.
You slam that thing straight out of the air.
I slam the fart.
Shut the fuck
Slam
up.
the fart. Slam the fart. Slam
What does that?
the
What does that
fart.
mean? What is that?
It's
You
a
can't just
meme.
spam your
It's
own
a meme,
shit.
dude. It's not. It's not my own meme.
Slam the fart. What is that?
Slam the
No, you
fart,
can't
dude.
spam your own.
I have
thing.
no idea what that
It's
is.
not
Me
the
neither.
It's not my own thing.
Nah.
Anyway, it's time for Bro to die. So.
Nah, the pseudo dragon missed. So,
Oh, okay.
bro, you got one thing left.
Bro says enough with these games. You die here. And then rears back, sits back in his not chair, but use where's it? No, where is it? There it is. Dragon breath. And
Made it
Hello.
save, but that's still 3 damage. So, with a gout of acid, you dissolve the last of these little creatures as it as most of its body falls to the ground, just sort of like hissing a sickly green hiss.
Keep your hands.
All right, looks like our challengers have managed to take down the flock of pseudo dragons, making them twice over dragon slayers, I think, altogether. Would our challengers like to go in for yet another round and double their earnings?
Gil pops out of the smoke and does like one of these. I think we're done.
You're done?
We're done. We're fucking
I
done.
think we're done.
All right, everyone. Looks like our challengers were only up for 2 rounds today. There's a lot of boos coming from the
It's a
crowd.
fucking 100 gold. That's shit compared to what we've gotten. All right, sorry.
Hey, we did our best, okay?
I'm pissed, but
Bro should have died, all right? We're lucky.
Guys, it's all fucking skill. Y'all know, bro. Bro's not gonna die off of this. I'm a dragonborn. How am I gonna die to this piece of crap? What are these things?
You should have died.
Pigeons? These are pigeons where I'm from. All right, I'm not
You
gonna
almost
die to
fucking ate
pigeons.
your asshole raw.
And you know what? I would have enjoyed it.
All right.
All right.
God damn it.
You guys are led outside of the fighting pit back into the sort of market area that you were in before. Swartz, of course, is there, and she hands you guys a small sack of gold. There you go, 100. Not entirely certain if it was worth it, considering how roughed up your buddy got.
He'll be fine.
Rough.
He'll be fine, and we'll be back. And then,
And then-
I start walking out.
Wait, so 100 gold each or total?
Total.
Total. Yeah. It really doesn't start becoming worth it until you start surviving like the fourth, fifth rounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when it
well,
starts. That's when it starts making. you
Metagaming
money.
out of character. We'll come back after we're done with a couple other quests. Okay?
Let's get some healing potions and shit.
Huh?
Let's get some healing potions and shit for our Tardo Dardos.
Let's just go to sleep.
Tardo Dardos.
Let's just take a long rest.
Harrison, if I buy you like a mini ring light on Amazon, would you use it?
What do you mean?
I just
For my
Oh,
camera?
right? No,
I
no,
just
no,
want
I-
to see your full skin tone.
Yeah,
when we-
right? That's it.
when we-
I can buy him what I got. Because I got mine for like $20.
Well, listen. You buy me.
Mine
You buy
is,
me that
like,
mini ring light.
Super cheap. Yeah.
Buy me that mini ring light. It'll get here in like 3 months because of
Yeah,
coronavirus.
that's
So
I ordered stuff like a minute ago. And
If
it's
you
been
get it,
like,
if you get it from Best Buy, you can actually pick it up from your nearest Best Buy like
going
within
to
an
Best
hour.
Buy, going outside.
yeah, we don't do that. Only for food. Anyway.
Only for food
We bought
and
a
human
we bought
flesh.
a printer today from Best Buy, so
You're a bad person. Where is this in? The inn Jeremy directed us to?
way the fuck over here, right? Are we? talking about the
Yeah,
Kirk
it's
Garrison, right?
well, it's basically right here. That's the inn that Jeremy told you to go to. Now, as far as the inn that
The Queen told you that?
you were supposed to, that you were led to believe might help you with your investigation, that's more like out here.
Where? Sorry.
Out here.
Okay. There wasn't really like a pertinent timeline that the Queen gave us, or was there?
No, it was just make sure that they don't end up getting into a turf war and burning the city down.
All right, so Raiden is lets the rest of the party know that it's not like super time sensitive. So if we want to long rest, we can, I guess, but we need to end up over on this side eventually, rather soon. So
Boy, this woman's really got you riled up, eh, Raiden?
that she does. I feel like she might see where I'm coming from, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I understand completely, my friend. I've been there myself. I would stop, dude.
The testosterone is
I
just
would,
so
I would-
potent right now.
I would caution you not to let it cloud your judgment, and then I would I'd continue on, I guess,
So-
to the city.
Then I think we should long rest, or Jeremy.
Bro
Suggest-
shall long rest.
All right, then we all long rest if bro long rest.
Yeah, I guess we're long resting. I don't know why. but
a
I
week
guess.
long rest?
I have no spells.
If there's no,
How do
if
you
there's
have no spells? What spells did you use?
Cure
Two
wounds
thunder
twice.
waves
I
and a
used
flaming
two
sphere?
level 2s, and then 2 level 2 level 2s, then 2
Can
level
I-
2s,
Can
and
I
then
vote?
or 2 level
Have him
1s.
change his cantrips so he cannot fucking go and use all of his spells in the very first battle that we ever
I
encounter.
didn't. I was expecting people to come out and help fight, but apparently, fucking.
Why? Okay, wait.
Not gotten hit.
Literally metagaming. If 3 of us are all employing the same strategy and you're the only one to not employ that strategy, who do you think is wrong?
First off, I'm not gonna take this. You don't even got a ring light, all right? if 4 of us have some sort of lighting and one of us don't have any type of lighting, who's at fault?
I don't have good lighting. Like
You
I don't
have lighting.
Yeah, you do have lighting, Lundy.
You do have lighting.
Bear said literally,
Yeah,
I
but
go
it
and
makes
turn
me
on a
look like
light
I'm a
over him
fucking
by him, and
ghost.
he tells me to
It's
fuck
still
off.
it's still better than mono light. Fucking kill.
Anyway, can we continue?
Hey, you leave the vampire alone.
Listen,
God damn it.
the queen did not give us a specific timeline whatsoever. She was not specific at all. So yeah, we will long rest.
Okay. You can feel
I mean, that I feel the DM speak very strongly right now.
Yeah, no shit. I feel it too.
Well,
but
I can listen. I can long rest, and you guys can continue doing stuff while I'm asleep.
For a week.
I mean, I need my spells. Like, I don't really got an option.
I just want to let you know that
Do I got to show?
throughout-
Do I got to share the meme again?
this can be what you do. I'm just going to let you know that as the party is doing anything at all over the course of the next week, plot wise, like in game, you will not be there for it, nor will you have anything to do with it.
AKA, like, you're going to be, like, completely silent for, like, the rest of the session.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's like, if not, like, that's fine. Like, I could go along. I just don't
Okay.
have any spells.
okay,
Metagaming
I
wise.
will say, like, if bro isn't with us, like, I'm fine with that. Like, I can continue going. If bro doesn't want to be a part of the party, that's fine. If he is long resting, I can continue on.
I can provide some RP opportunities for Ro while he's resting, but that's about the most that he'll be able to participate
That's up to you.
until you guys end up either finishing a week or whatever.
So I have 5 lay on hands left. I have 26 hit points and 2 spell slots left. It's up to you guys.
Okay, so bro would go to the Jeremy Inn, and we'd go to the Garrus Garrison Inn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and say we're good for now. As far as this is concerned, you're going to go ahead and head to
Hold on, wait. We all get 27 gold, correct?
Yes.
25.
25.
25, yeah, to even it up. What the heck was I doing here? Okay. So I just got to bear in mind here from my notes that Bro will be staying at the Correct Hammer for a long rest. The rest of the party will be staying at Dawn's Keep to further their investigation. I can't spell worth a goddamn right now. Okay. Just so you know, when you do enter Dawn's Keep, you are greeted by a rather lovely-looking chap who looks something along the lines of this.
What a hunk.
Ooh,
A massive mustache.
goddamn.
Very large muscles, massive mustache, and he greets you. Greetings and welcome. May I give you all a room?
Let me read my tokens.
Yes.
Let me be correct here. since nobody else has been correct.
What do you mean?
Tokens.
Actually moving your
Oh.
tokens to where you're supposed to be.
I don't know. Oh, okay. My bad. I forget.
Am I there or am I with Jeremy?
You're not
You
here.
are
You're with
going to
With
be
Jeremy, right? Yeah.
Yes, you're going to be there.
Yes, we would like some rooms. What is your name, Mr. Barkeep?
My last name is Royal, but of course you can call me Frederick if you would prefer.
Frederick. Yes, we would like 3 rooms tonight.
I want the best room.
Ah, for you, little one, I will provide you with a room that I have personally made sure is 100% clean.
I know you think I'm a fucking normie, but I know you deemed inspiration from Full Metal Alchemist on this fucking character. Okay? I just want you to fucking know that. I just want you to fucking know that. Okay? I just want to make it clear.
About 30%.
Clear.
Yeah,
Tabor's
Okay?
drunk, dude.
Okay.
He is-
That's
yeah,
it. I just want it to be known.
You're not allowed to do anything tonight, Tabor, because you're drunk and anything is considered rape. So, because you cannot consent to anything. At this
True.
Okay.
The little one will have your best room, Frederick, and I think my human compatriot and I will have a one of your average run-of-the-mill room.
Even my average rooms are still the best you'll find in the entire capital. I don't care what the hobnobs say.
Okay, well, sure. We'll take 2 of those and then one of your even finer rooms, Mr. Royal, sir.
He merely charges you altogether 3 gold to stay the night. So that's not too terribly hard.
1
considering that
gold.
You guys just made 100.
Got it. Okay.
That will pay for your drinks all night. That will pay for your breakfast in the morning,
Oh
and it
my
will pay for
God.
your dinner tonight as well.
I think I love you, Mr. Royal.
Shit.
I always make sure to treat all of my guests with utmost respect. All I ask is that you keep all combat or confrontation out of my establishment.
What time is it by now?
Just your establishment, correct?
Of course, if you wish to
Outside
take
is
something
fine?
outside like men, feel free.
Duly
What,
noted.
What time is it right now?
Right now it's probably about like 10 p.m.
Okay. Can I don't know how you want to handle this. Can Gil stay in the bar area? Is this like, it's still pretty crowded? Or is it?
Nah, actually it's more or less cleared out at the moment. It's starting to get fairly late for basically everybody in the city, so. And there are some people there that appear to be dressed in what appear to be sort of blue, sort of striped cloths, almost in a uniform-esque manner, and they're all just sort of sitting at one table together. There's only about like 3 of them.
Okay. I turned to Raiden and Gleb. What are you 2 gonna do?
Right now, sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
So you're chilling like in the bar, or are you gonna go back to your room?
Chilling, sleepy chilling.
All right. So Gleb and Raiden are going to their rooms.
Yeah.
Before you go to your room, allow me to ask you a simple question. What would you like for breakfast?
Burritos.
I can make these for you. It only requires a decent amount of flour, but I can get my hands on that.
Glub is very visibly excited. Because she's never had a burrito before, she doesn't know what a burrito is.
I don't think anybody
Sure,
in this room knows
burrito.
what
That's
burrito
a
is.
word.
Yeah, I don't know what a burrito is. I kind of look at her and I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, so they're going to their rooms.
Yes. That's
All right,
it.
so I'm gonna post up at the bar and have. Well, I'll say, Frederick, give me a glass of your finest ale.
Ah, ale is my favorite thing. He sort of hands you a small mug and pours a fairly rich-smelling liquid inside of it. Just be careful with this. It is extremely strong and has quite a bit of a kick.
Okay, I'm not gonna chug it like I usually do. I'm gonna sip it. Tell me, what's the deal with your guests over at the other table there? And I kind of like nod my head over.
Well, I will be entirely honest with you. It is not something that I very much enjoy speaking about. After all, they have a particular business, and it is a business which regularly frequents mine.
And what business is that?
Like I said, I would prefer not to speak about the private goings-ons of my customers to other customers.
Fuck. Let me tell you what, Frederick. How much, I guess out of character, how much would it be, or should I ask in character, how much would it be to buy them, all these people, like a round of drinks or whatever?
Not too terribly much at all. You were already paid for your own drinks, so all you would need to pay is perhaps 5 silver, and you can buy a round for the whole table.
5 silver is half of a gold?
Half a gold, yes.
Okay, a round for my potentially newfound compatriots here, and if you would be so kind as a prospective future patron here, I am very curious about these gentlemen here. God damn it.
I am very sorry, my friend. I appreciate your patronage, but I also appreciate theirs. Just as I would not share your secrets with them, I will not share their secrets with you. It is only fair.
What kind of... These guys are wearing striped uniforms?
Yeah, striped blue uniforms.
Is there anything else? Like, are they armed?
You can tell they have weapons on them, yeah.
Okay. Fuck. Alright, well, I guess I'll fucking down my drink. Yep, there we go. It's time for bed.
Okay.
I chug my ale, and then I stumble off into my bedroom, I guess.
All right. And then the 3 of you will continue to rest, as well as Bro. We'll go ahead and call it there for the night. Appreciate you guys. We went to the capital. We helped out some NPCs randomly who wanted some fucking help doing some stuff. Talked to the queen. Didn't make complete asses of ourselves. Just made some weird long-term plans concerning that. Went down to the black market. Got yourself into an underground fighting ring. Killed some cute things. Made Glove's player feel bad.
Yeah.
And made a little bit of gold before then continuing on with the investigation that you have been asked to proceed with. So we'll go ahead and pick up next week with our group attempting to keep the peace within the capital city of Salunia. Thank everybody for coming. I appreciate everybody for coming and watching, participating, and having some fun. All of the battle music that I use all comes from the Trails in the Sky series, which I recommend. It's all found on Steam, fairly cheap right now. Very good games. I'm playing them on my channel, actually. So there you go. You like to sign off, guys?
Tabor.
My name is Tabor Snapping. If you follow me, you slam the fight.
Stop.
RNA.
I'm RNA. I don't have social media.
Salsa.
I am New Salsa. Twitch.tv/New Salsa. You know what it is, baby.
And of course, I'm your DM, Big Lundi. If you're looking for a DM, I'm available.
Chenners, what's your stuff?
She already did it, didn't she?
She already did it. She said
She
nah.
said I'm Chenners.
Slam
my
the fart.
campaign.
Slam the fart. Slam the fart. Slam the fart. We're playing a private D&D campaign with Chenners as the DM very, very soon. Nobody here will ever see it again.
So there really was no point in telling you other than to say ha
No,
ha ha.
I just, yeah, no, seriously. Just like, fuck you guys. Like, you won't be able to see it.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Don't bully chat.
My
That's
name
rude.
in that campaign is Crusty Cruncheth.
Oh,
And RNA is playing a character named Kermit the Frog.
Good
Yep,
night
that's
to
right.
everybody. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night, guys. Stay safe and don't die.